Hello? Hello?
My remote died, guys, to my television.
Yeah, we'll give you guys the sniff since it probably wouldn't be able to be heard earlier. There you go. Sniffing.
We got a boomer!
How do you even change a remote? I mean, a battery for a remote.
Very carefully. I don't know. It depends on the remote. What kind of remote you have? Is this a normal one where you open up in the back?
What kind of remote do you have? Yeah,
I've had
bro.
remotes that use like watch batteries or whatever you want to call
I
them.
don't know. I can't get into it.
You can't get into it?
It says it has directions on it.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of remote you had.
It was a tiny one.
I don't want to ruin my nail polish though.
We're on episode 3.
Proof?
Hello, everybody. Hi, Max. Hi, Tough.
I got
Hey,
into
Maggie.
the remote.
You got in?
Yeah. These look like AAA batteries.
Are you sure about that?
It has 3 A's on it.
Oh, here's the 4th A. I need quadruple A batteries.
Do those exist? I'm pretty. They do. They must, right?
I don't know. I know there's D batteries.
Yeah, I know there's.
And then there's C batteries, right?
Most of these batteries have gone extinct. No one uses them.
The super slim ones?
I know what you're talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about.
You don't know what he's talking about?
Nah.
The really slim ones.
That means nothing to me. I'm gonna be honest.
The really, really, really slim boys.
Like the circular ones?
Um.
Can you?
They're like a cylinder.
Slim Jim? I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen these.
Here you go. I'll send you the image in Discord.
Hold on. She's sending my boomer self some pictures of batteries. That just looks. It's just
It's a little bit.
Okay,
longer.
okay, wait. I actually do know those are now. Max sent me a picture as well, and it's like from the side view. I'm like, oh, those do look familiar.
Yeah, I mean technically mine is also the side view, but that's okay.
No.
Technically, it is. But that's alright.
Anyway, let's read some Umineko so I can either laugh my ass off, get sad, or be mad at the character. Nothing in between.
Are we gonna be beating children today?
I don't think so. We're following a good mom, so.
The only good mom.
By now I can break and repair any soul if I try, not just that of a rose and kill. Oh yeah, we ended off with her reviving the rose in the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. By now I can break and repair any soul if I try, not just that of a rose, and kill and revive as I pleased. Come, the barrier of the storm has now sealed Rokujima off from the natural world. Now is the time for the Golden Witch Beatrice to ascend as an endless witch. Beatrice pulled from her pocket an envelope with the family crest, the one-ringed eagle, and gave it to Maria. Okay. Maria has the envelope again. This happens every time. Maria gets an envelope every time.
Yes. This is like canon in every universe.
Maria frolicked around at being selected to be the witch's messenger. So, Kenzo, I've come to join in your fun once more. My preparations are already complete. What of you? Have you prepared enough coins to bet in tonight's game? Of course, I'm fully prepared, Beatrice. I've assembled a plethora of pieces. I'm ready both physically and mentally. So then, let us make the ante. All that you have given should be returned to you in the end. Come, take it! Kenzo flung the window of his study open, took off the valuable order ring that had been on his finger, and threw it into the darkness of the waging wind and rain. Does this happen every time?
Yes.
Huh.
Why wouldn't it?
Just feels like a weird thing to happen every time. That ring was struck by lightning. That doesn't happen every time. There's no way. I call shenanigans. After the twinkling gold for an instant disappears. Kenzo watched it go, grinning broadly and furiously. I don't think I'll lose. You are mine. Forever. The ring that Kenzo had thrown became a single golden butterfly and fluttered around in the wind and rain. Come on. It headed for the rose garden, almost as though it was being guided there. It then found the figure of the golden witch and fluttered down. When it came down right in front of Beatrice, it burst open and returned to its original form, flying through the air. The way it was going, you would have expected it to fall into a puddle, but it stopped suddenly in midair. Almost as if some transparent person had caught it. Apparently, even Beatrice hadn't expected this. However, she realized who it was and grinned broadly at it. Who the fuck is this? As she did, the shadow of the person... It's one of the guys from the picture on the cover of the game. Shadow person who had caught the ring would presently appear. It was the figure of a young man wearing a butler's uniform embroidered with the wandering eagle crest.
This is the best character.
Okay. You say that a lot, I think. There was no man like this among the servants of the Ushimiya family. Even so, Beatrice laughed as though it was someone she remembered fondly. Renovo? How do you pronounce that?
Renove.
Renove? Is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite some time. Seems you have remembered me. You were always a man who took loyalty seriously. It has been quite some time since your last correspondence. Not for a single day have I, Renove, forgotten that I serve you, my lady. Okay. I was more afraid that you had forgotten about me. After all, you can be quite forgetful. Cackle, cackle. I see, yes, I certainly am forgetful. I'd forgotten even your sarcasm until I heard it again. My lady, take this. With an exaggerated yet elegant gesture, he bowed respectfully and held out to Beatrice the head's ring that he just caught.
Can you look at the character menu?
Okay, hold on.
Can you look at the servants?
I don't see him.
No, look at some of the servants' names.
Kumasara, Servant Gouda, Servant Cannon, Servant Shannon. That's Genji. What am I looking for?
It doesn't say it in there.
Can't believe Genji is a demon? What are you talking about? No.
Genji's name is, how do you spell it?
Do you mean to look it up again? Like...
No, I'm looking it up right now. His name, they said it before in the story, so it's not really a spoiler. This is Genji's full name. Sending it to you in Discord right now.
Okay. Oh no! Genji! Genji's a fucking demon? It is the Ushimiya family head's rings to turn to you from Ushimiya Kenzo. It is now once again in the possession of its master. Man. Oh, Rikishi, you really know how to drag out scenes, bro.
Hell yeah.
Indeed. I want to see how he rates Silent Hill already. I need Silent Hill F to be out now. I want to play it now. This is Kenzo announcing the start of the game. It's gonna make me sad, I think. Of course I'll accept it, because I can already, like, I can feel that you said this is gonna make me sad. Like, the end.
Yeah, this is a tragedy.
And I can feel, like, parts of the story, I'm like, huh, if this goes certain ways, it could make me really sad. So how shall we play tonight? Should I prepare the roulette immediately? Or should I prepare some black tea first? I can't decide which, but first I need you to greet someone. I'm sure that guy's got his mouth hanging open and can't shut it. Right, Battler? Bitch. Greetings. Allow me to introduce myself. I am called Renove, and I serve at the side of my lady Beatrice. It truly is a pleasure to meet you. See? His mouth hanging open and he can't shut it, right? Cackle, cackle. Yeah, no shit. Another incomprehensible guy just showed up.
We got a boomer!
First, I grumble about the goat-headed people doing the Bond dance, and then the goat heads start showing up in swarms. And since then, not only have those 7 as Nisans and Nasans appeared. Nisans. It's Knee, right? Because it's N-E.
Nay.
Nay? God damn it. Nasans appeared, but now it's a 7. There's even a butler. It doesn't make sense. Cut it out. By the way, Battler, did you notice? Did you realize that meeting him is a true devil's proof? A devil's proof? What do you mean? He may not look like it, but this guy's one of the 72, a genuine demon. In other words, I brought a demon right in front of you, which truly proves that they exist. Cackle, cackle, cackle. Renove holds a noble rank in hell, the 27th highest ranked great demon. He's a pretty useful man. Summoned him at a high cost and made him serve me. It is an honor to meet you. While my name is amongst those of the nobles of hell, I now serve as the head furniture of Beatrice-sama, who despite being a vulgar human is a great witch of such caliber that demons flee before her. Cackle, 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 cackle. He's a very useful man, but he's impotent with his words. Frustratingly enough, he sometimes forgets to respect his master. Nothing in my contract specifies the manner in which I am to speak. Would you like to change that contract? It keeps me entertained, so it's fine. Cackle, cackle. Beatrice turned. I hate his face.
What do you mean?
He looks like he's mocking everything. Beatrice turned her back to him, cackling. After bowing once to her back, Renove turned back to Battler and stuck out his right hand, showing off an innocent smile. Normally, this would mean that he was asking for a handshake. What is this supposed to be? I am another who has been subjected to my lady's whims. In that sense, I am sure we could become good friends. This is a handshake of friendship. Of course, this in no way implies your entry into a contract with the demon, so fear not. I don't trust that. Sorry, but I'm right in the middle of a big fight with your master. I only shake hands with an enemy after we've beaten each other up in a rainy schoolyard and are all worn out, like something you see in a teen drama. Remember that. I see. To shake hands with you, Battler-sama, I must create a fitting atmosphere in a suitable location. Exchanging sweet words and physical language with you that rings true to your heart. When the opportunity arrives, I shall arrange for such an encounter. Just to shake his fucking hand? Oh,
well, yeah.
No.
Highest form of respect.
I must say, I simply love situations like that myself. What the hell? What? What is this?
It's just a different type of laugh.
I hate his laugh. How he writes laughs. I hate it. As Renove laughed tauntingly, he whispered to Battler, bringing his face so close that noses were almost touching. Nose mentioned.
Oh my god.
Battler and his face turning red after getting so close to another of the same sex pushed him away. You're a creepy bastard. I see, just right for Beto's butler. It is an honor to receive such words of praise. I am very confident in my tea brewing abilities, so please look forward to tea time. Baking cookies is one of my hobbies, so please feel free to request any snacks you may desire. Just what I expect from a pair of the same gender. You started getting along well right off the bat. What the fuck? I'm jealous. My. I apologize for making you jealous, my lady. I shall not sneakily snatch your guests away from you. Well then, I will leave for now to retake my post as head furniture and greet my subordinates. Please forgive my short absence. Oops. Indeed. Only the common goats and 7 sisters used for the ceremony have manifested themselves. You'll be able to finish greeting them in no time. Oh! Those lively 7 sisters are here? I wonder if those naughty girls have grown a little more graceful. If that's graceful, I'll have to doubt the definition of the word graceful. Is that so? Then I suppose you already had the opportunity to play with those sisters? Judging by your expression, it would seem they're just as naughty as always. What the fuck is this combo? Even though I'm always telling them to act more fitting as servants of Beatrice-sama. What troublesome kids. If that's your problem, don't worry. They actually act perfectly fitting for their master. Cackle, cackle, cackle. Now even you have begun to say it. However, a conversation means that you accept your partner. The fact that you started to respond to my idle chatting proves that you are gradually starting to accept my existence.
I don't think so, but
What is
okay.
this logic? The metaverse is not where we're going to accept this. That's because even if the sun starts rising from the west, I would definitely absolutely never accept that you're a witch. You might want to try a more positive approach, like crying and kissing my shoes. Even if Battler was bluffing, he still spoke forcefully, a fearless expression on his face. The witch and her butler snickered together, realizing that their guest had regained more than enough of his willpower to attend a new game. That preparations were complete. Atwood and Novo exchanged a few words with Beatrice. He bowed silently to Battler, scattered into several golden butterflies, and disappeared. Begone.
I'm ready for the murder.
Cackle, cackle. It is truly pleasing to have such a boisterous atmosphere. How boring were the days when I was trapped alone on this island, unable to regain my power and lacking anyone to talk to. I get how that unpleasant guy is really fitting as your butler. But tell me, why has that butler only appeared now? You said something about how only the goats and the Nichan of the 7 stakes had manifested themselves? What did you mean? Indeed. You still resist, but I am a fully fledged witch. I am in contact with several non-human entities in the spirit world. I'll bet. No sane people would hang out with you. First some goat monsters, then those ass nations. And then the time a demon butler showed up. I hate to think about it, but the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if even more weird people appear. Ha 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 ha. Among the furniture that worked at my great golden mansion, how many demons do you think want to come over and play? They will keep coming. Many of them will appear. When the door to the golden land is opened, I will call back all my furniture and build my new castle here on Rokujima. Then I plan to invite all my old friends and we will drink and dance together for 3 days and 3 nights. Of course, I also plan to invite Kenzo's family, you see? You too, if you wish. Cackle, cackle. So is this what you mean? That since you lost your power for a long time, you couldn't summon them? And then since your magic power had been gradually increasing, you've become able to summon more and more monsters. It is as you say. You stopped a hair's breadth from before crumbling, but your heart is already wavering, and you're unable to deny that I am a witch. That wavering in your heart has been slowly restoring my power as a witch. So, are you trying to say that creepy butler appeared because I started to surrender? That's right! Bit by bit, you are surrendering to me. Isn't all humiliation you suffered in the last game a result of you submitting to me so deeply? Wasn't it great when you had to sacrifice your back for the sake of my feet? Cackle, 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 cackle. Damn it! I thought I'd be able to keep things as they were, as long as I didn't accept you. But it looks like that was wrong. Correct. The closer you get to surrendering, the more the game will swing in my favor. Isn't chess the same? In the process of cornering each other as kings, we trade several pieces. Of course, I still haven't cornered your king. And furthermore, you're giving it everything you've got just to help your king escape, and have lost several pieces to me, as well as a large advantage. It's only natural that further developments will tend to turn in my favor. Damn! Just damn. Okay. From now on, you will probably be frantic as you try to avoid my checkmate. However, as you do, I will steal your pieces from you one by one. In the end, you have lost everything but your king, and you won't be able to escape no matter how much you try. Then you will receive a true checkmate. You were talking big last time, weren't you? Something about how you'd never accept me and would torment me with eternal torture? Only witches who have reached the endless level can talk about eternity. That's been beyond you ever since the very beginning. Cool. I'll be honest, I don't know what's going on.
She's summoning demons.
Demons. That man is not real.
It's not real.
Kinzo-sama has already publicly displayed the location of the hidden gold within the epitaph under my portrait. The rules apply equally to all those who can read the epitaph. If you discover the gold, I shall return everything to you. Tonight, I ask that you enjoy your battle of wits with Kinzo-sama to the fullest.
This is the letter. We just skipped right to it.
I'm so glad. I sincerely pray that this night will be both intellectual and elegant. Beatrice the Golden Witch. When Maria finished reading the letter that Beatrice had handed her, everyone was at a loss for words for a while. We're gonna get Eva's thought process here. And then they all broke the silence at once. Natsuri? Ridiculous. What a worthless, vicious prank. Seriously. There was no way Father gave up the head's ring. Beatrice? Huh. What a transparent prank. Hoping to confuse us by bringing up her name. That name. Whatever. Hey, who filled this dessert up with a little too much punch? I want to applaud and praise you, so come clean, okay? Rosa? Of course not. I wouldn't pull a prank by assuming Father's name. Then Aniki? Aniki? Me? Are you an idiot? It was Nissan, right? Nissan, sorry. I don't even know anymore. I can't speak.
It's okay, bro. It's a different language.
I can't take this shit no more. Only he could plan something vulgar. Are you trying to mock me? I'm the one who wants to question you. Who's behind this ill-natured prank?
Yo, mama.
I don't even know their mom. She doesn't show up in the story. Fuck off. Krause beat the table and stared at everyone. Since that included the children too, he scared most of them.
Good.
A letter from a mysterious person who claims to have been given full rights to Father's assets. Considering that the whole point of his family conference is the discussion of that subject. I think it's too hasty to call this a mere prank. We can't be sure. Maybe it really is one of Father's shady pranks. He might have planned this to shock us a bit since we've been discussing the distribution of his inheritance without him. Dad was the one who planned this. Then we can't take what Maria-chan just read out loud as a joke, right? That's right. If you were to interpret the contents literally, this is just a test from Father. The epitaph of the witch has been displayed in the hall for quite some time now, so that anyone else could solve it. I think this is the first time they just straight up accepted that it's a test. And actually went to the epitaph, right? Because usually they just kind of like argue about it, right?
Yeah, because all they do is argue.
So I think this is the first time they've accepted that they have to solve the epitaph?
Well, let's see if they solve it.
I'm just surprised that they're actually discussing it. There's plenty of notice instead of just going at each other's throats. That means he was saying the first person to solve it will be handed the inheritance along with his wealth, right? Also, that means Beatrice didn't show up this time.
Correct.
See? My magic granted your wish. Nothing so foolish could possibly be that case. Wait, who said that? Was that her younger self saying my magic granted your wish?
Maybe. I wasn't paying attention. Isn't there a fucking log you can go back through?
I think so, hold on. I haven't used it up to this point, but I do think there is one.
I haven't used it.
Backlog.
Backlog. Yep.
Yep, see my magic granted your wish. There's plenty of notice. It doesn't have any name on it or anything.
Yeah.
It just said, see my magic granted your wish.
Yeah, it probably was her. Young her.
I don't like that. I don't like her discussing magic. Nothing so foolish could possibly be the case. It was an unshakable fact that my husband is the successor to Ushimiya family headship. Because she's also, like, the smartest one of the group. In terms of the parents. Well...
Rosa is pretty smart.
Yeah, I guess. I accept that she's not stupid. Well, doesn't this letter shake that? This is a message from a person who was given full rights to all father's wealth. Okay. Brother's right to become the head has returned to a blank slate. Why didn't they just translate that to brother?
Keikaku Dori. Keikaku means plan.
The person who solves the fetish. I fucking hate you. The person who finds Beatrice's gold will become the next head of the Ushimiya family. Ridiculous. Do you think we can trust the meaningless words in that letter? That the seal was the real thing? There's no way we could trust that. Then let's try to go and ask Father directly. At this point, you can't get away with saying he's grumpy or feeling bad, right? The sealed wax clearly shows that this was from Father's representative. If you doubt that, then show some proof. Show that this is the letter does not contain Father's will. You know, I really... Ever since Ripley did that, like, joke thing, where she was talking about Kenzo, I can't unsee it.
What do you mean unsee it?
Remember she joked about Kenzo actually being dead?
Yeah.
It would explain so much about why he doesn't leave the room. And, like, him having the most, like, his son having the most to gain from him being dead. And being the one who's always like, oh, he's grumpy and won't come out. Very sus. Ripley may have, in her joke, had a thing of truth there. If you doubt that, then show some proof, Nissan. Show that this letter does not contain Father's will. But very well. It is just as you say. It no longer matters whether Father's in a good mood or not. Let us go up and ask him directly. Let's do it. We'll ask Dad directly. Dad is Dad, so why would he act in such a roundabout way? Then again, I guess that would be like him. I wonder if we really should continue this discussion on the assumption that this letter came from Father. Stupid Rosa. Whoa. Isn't that obviously from Father? That letter is Father's. Isn't it obvious that he's giving the four of us an even chance to become the successor? Die, you brainless idiot. Rosa really is dumb. Shit. Surely she'd give up and die. Shit. I'm sorry? That's right. I'm sorry. Poor Rosa. In the beginning, the adults had doubted the credibility of the letter. But after realizing that this was a once-in-a-lifetime chance in the inheritance struggle for the three younger siblings, Eva changed her position, claiming that the letter was authentic. Yeah, I did wonder why none of them ever tried that. Rudolph and Rosa caught on and agreed. Outrageous! How can adults like you take such a worthless prank like this seriously? I don't need to be Father to understand his contempt. Whoa, 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 Natsui-san. All we gotta do is ask Father and we're done, right? Won't everything be fine if Father just tells us that he doesn't know about the letter? Take responsibility and just get him to say that he doesn't know about the letter. This is no time to get scared just because he's in a bad mood, okay? He's still scared of Father at this age, that idiot. If only he'd just give up and die.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not young Rosa. What the fuck?
That young Eva.
Yeah.
Eva? Eva?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Mommy?
Mommy?
Yeah, let's get this settled. Let's get this settled clearly. He's probably... I can't... Hold on. Oh, I need a drink. Your reaction to that's what made it funny. Let's get this settled clearly. He's probably eating in his study right now.
Me.
Let's have him set down his chopsticks for a moment. It's decided. Let's go. Kyrie, wait here for a while. I think she has the most, like, Japanese name out of all the adults. We'll go check out...
She's not married to...
I know, it's always weird to go from, like, Rudolph to fucking Kyrie. We'll go check whether it's true or not and come back quickly. I guess Natsuri also works. Thank you. I'll wait patiently for Guda-san to bring you dessert.
Hideyoshi.
Oh yeah, Hideyoshi is a name that's there too. Damn, you're right. Listen, I'm tired today. Just leave me alone. The forcelings Natsuri and Hideyoshi all rose from their seats forcefully and flew out in the hallway with a clatter. So Hideyoshi's going up as well?
Because Rudolph's misogynistic.
Ah, that's right. Afterwards, only the children, stunned completely speechless, Nanjo, who looked uncomfortable, and Kyrie, who just shrugged. Why is Nanjo always there?
What do you mean, why is he always there?
I don't know. It's just weird. I just don't know why he's, like, at the family conference. Is he always on the island?
Yes, he's the doctor.
I'm forgetting things I probably learned, like, 60 fucking thousand words ago.
Yeah. Bro, he's the on-site doctor, you know, for the man who's dying.
In the middle of all this was Maria, who looked a little scared at the adult's sudden change. However, judging from her appearance, she didn't look like she would realize the full meaning of what she just read. What in the world was that all about? I don't get it. They're all bastards. Do they really want the inheritance that much? Everyone, this is our parents' problem. It has nothing to do with us. I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with you, actually. Because whenever parents get the most money, it benefits their children as well. Just saying. So you mustn't worry about it. I mean, but you're all rich already, so. Even if you say that. They were so blatant about it. I can't believe them. Showing off their greed like that? Ooh! Everyone has to believe together that we'll be happy. Ooh! That's really sad, Maria. That's right. We all did promise. Come on, Battler, Jessica-chan, you too. Ha ha ha. I feel horrible. We couldn't accept it at all, but we laid down our arms for the time being. We'd been vaguely aware of how filthy this family conference was going to be. However, after that 6-year blank, I couldn't help being shocked. When he saw that the children were completely dejected, Dr. Nanjo cleared his throat uncomfortably. It's an adult matter. It has nothing to do with all of you young people. I think all of them except for Jessica and Maria are adults, right? Oh no, even Jessica is.
And Maria's the only one who's not. Well, technically in Japan, you know, they can kind of consider 18 still not an adult. You have to be 20.
Okay, I mean, that's reasonable. Let us forget about it. I would if I could. I know it's hard, but forget it for now. All of your parents are fighting frantically to make your futures just a little brighter. Please don't look at your injured parents with those cold eyes when they come back. No matter how much you ask us, Kyrie-san. That'll be tough. I mean, plus Battler's already got like a strained relationship with his dad as well, so adding this on top of it can't be good.
Yeah.
If we could just be if we could be happy with an explanation like that, we wouldn't be kids. Ew! Everyone be happy! Can't get dark. Believe! If everyone doesn't believe, we can be happy. That happiness will get away. Everyone has to believe. Ooh, ooh, ooh!
Oh my god.
What?
The bird just tried to jump on my shoulder, but it didn't go very well. And he ate shit.
I thought I heard something with your mic. Did he eat shit right next to the mic?
Yes.
Fuck. I like the sound of that. I believe it, too. I believe we can find happiness. Ooh! Kyrie, thank you! Battler and Jessica, you believe, too? Beatrice is always saying that magic won't have any power if you don't believe. Ooh!
Ooh.
Kyrie saw and rose from her seat quietly, went over to Maria and crouched down so that their eyes met. Ooh! Aunt Kyrie believed. Now Battler and Jessica have to believe. Those two are strong. They'll feel better soon, and then they'll believe. Yeah. More importantly, I want you to tell me something. When Kyrie-san said that, Jessica, George, Anaki, Dr. Nanjo, and I all listened closely. It looked like our parents were so concerned with the inheritance problem that grandfather filled their minds. But we wanted to ask Maria about something simpler. Who's Beatrice? Ooh, what? Who gave you that letter? Beatrice! The witch drawn in the that portrait? Ooh! She gave me this letter and an umbrella. And she used magic to fix my rose that was broken. Did she say that in the first time? About the rose being fixed? Or is that something new with this one?
It's new.
Beatrice is an awesome witch who can do anything. The more Maria talks about witches, the sadder I get.
Oh, why?
It just feels like a childhood's innocence or some shit. Because this witch is gonna murder everybody, and I'm like, Maria doesn't see that?
She believes that she's gonna have a happy family in the Golden Land.
It's fucking depressing. Maria makes the story so sad. I could have fun with the adults dying and even like the older children and make jokes about it. But like Maria just makes me sad.
I've got something to tell you. You're gonna hate this chapter.
I'm gonna hate this chapter? Oh
yeah.
No. Because it's like all of them can understand what's going on, except for Maria. At least they understand what's going on. Maria just like is just like, oh, gonna take us to the Golden Land. I'm like, Maria, you.
Mom will love me again.
The bad witch and Mom will go away. Could you tell us about a bit more in detail? Damn. They really are skipping shit.
I'm so happy for it.
This is gonna cut the story down by like 15 hours.
Well, not really. He's just replacing it with scenes of them arguing about the devil's proof and all that.
I'll be honest. I feel like he shouldn't mention like actual. Well, I feel like I wouldn't, if I was writing this, I wouldn't mention things like devil's proof or like actually talk about like the roles of mysteries. But I get why he's doing it.
It's actually incredibly integral to the story, and if he didn't do it, this story wouldn't work as much.
It's integral to the story?
Incredibly so.
Wow. How the fuck is that integral to the story?
You'll find out, but this story wouldn't work if he didn't do this.
Huh. So his ramblings actually have a meaning.
Yeah.
That's refreshing. There's some stories I've read where they ramble and it has no reason to be in it at all.
The only ramble so far that hasn't been, like, relevant in any kind of way is when he was talking about children being chuny or something.
I remember that. I could have skipped that whole part and lost no information.
Exactly.
Without being allowed to wait for dessert, we were chased out of the room. Heard that in the end, our parents weren't able to get grandfather to respond. Huh. Noted. Well, I hate to say it, but I feel like giving grandfather a high five right now. So wait, what people have seen grandfather? It's been, or heard grandfather. It's been, other than like in the end, whenever Beatrice already showed up, it has been Natsuri, Rosa,
Genji,
Kraus,
Shannon.
Eva didn't even, we didn't confirm that she's seen him, right?
Who?
Eva. I don't think she's ever mentioned talking to him, did she? No,
she's never seen him.
She said he was missing.
Yeah.
And then she did the door trick. So the only people who have seen him have been the people who already lived in the mansion.
I just said Rosa.
Rosa? Oh yeah, you're right. But she lied. Wait, but she was also the one who opened up the church door, which I theorized would, well, because when we were going through it.
But she's a fucking liar.
She's a fucking liar. I think she lied about the door to the church, and that's how that puzzle gets solved. Oh my fucking god. He's so fucking dead. He's deaded. He's dead. Fuck, all these people are liars. I hate them all. But Shannon? That's sad. Shannon and Cannon, I like them.
What about Genji? He's a cool guy.
Genji's... Yeah, he's nicer than Gouda. So, like, there's only a certain amount of servants who are allowed to see him, too. So it could be... Oh, shit. Okay. He was probably pretty satisfied with how his strange letter had given his children a good shock. Since they all had been so infatuated with the inheritance problem while grandfather was still alive. Fucking Rosa is a liar. That's how that puzzle gets solved. She lied about the key. Problem solved.
It's just like, fuck Rosa, she's a liar.
She lied about the door being locked, actually, I think. Her and, I think her, Genji, and Cannon lied about the door being locked. Because that would be the best way to solve that puzzle, I think. Just people lied. It's not Occam's razor. People lied.
People lied.
People are liars. I also felt like our despicable parents had gotten what they deserved in all its confusion. But I couldn't really say that I was feeling great. I felt all sulky. Apparently, grandfather hadn't seemed concerned with the whole thing, but he also hadn't denied anything about the letter either. When talking, I mean, he didn't answer. When talking about the witch's letter, grandfather's name kept popping up. If grandfather knew that someone was stealing his name, then considering his character, he'd probably be mad with rage. But even though grandfather, he seems like such a nice guy. But even though grandfather, who knew the content of that letter, he coldly ignored it. So did I count as a silent yes? Aunt Eva and Dad were trying to interpret the letter in their favor, their greed clearly visible. It wouldn't have mattered so much if that was all, but the adults now started focusing on Maria, who had received the letter. They kept pounding her questions about who had given it to her. Maria repeated over and over again that she had gotten it from Beatrice, but there was no way such a mysterious person could have sneaked onto the island. After all, this island's small and no one living on it outside the Ushimiya family household. Maria kept repeating that she had gotten it from Beatrice, no matter how many times she was asked. The adults seemed to think that she was trying to trick them, so they don't hold back and question her until she broke out in tears. I want to get to the answer arcs already.
Yeah, let's bully the little girl.
When Maria was released, she sobbed all worn out from crying. After our parents ordered us to go to the guest house and take Maria with us, they shut themselves up in the dining hall and started getting louder and louder as they discussed the inheritance. It seemed that because of that strange letter, Uncle Kraus' chances of becoming the next head might have been reduced to a blank slate. And in exchange for accepting him, my dad and the rest were trying to swindle Uncle Kraus out of a lot of money or something like that. Disgusted as that we were, Jessica and I were happy to move over to the guest house. We didn't want to be under the same roof as those filthy adults, their heads so filled with thoughts about money. George Arnicke pleaded on our parents' behalf, saying that he wanted us to understand them. George, you're an op. I understand his reasoning. No matter, I can't stand George. He's actually making me mad by talking. Hold on.
Damn.
No matter how filthy this talk of money was, it wouldn't go away if we just closed your eyes to it. But even so, how could they sink so low as to overtly fight over the money of the dead? Just be like, there's better ways to do inheritance than this. That's all we're gonna say.
There's better ways to do inheritance. Nah, man. I want all that fucking money.
You want all that money? Maria had cried herself dry and was hiding in the bed.
I'm so excited for the murder. I just want to get to the part where everybody dies.
Okay. She hadn't even twitched for Hold on. I'm laughing at the fact that you're excited for people dying. She hadn't even twitched for a while, so she's probably sleeping. Who in the world gave that letter to Maria-chan? Beatrice. They said this already.
Yeah, dude. Like, fuck off.
George Nissan, you can't ask her that anymore. Isn't it fine to say that Maria got it from Beatrice and leave it at that? After all, we don't want to make her cry any more than this. Even though we said that, we couldn't clear away a gloomy feeling. There are only 18 people on this island now. The thought that somewhere in the rain, a 19th person gave Maria that letter is now hiding somewhere doesn't seem realistic at all. Most likely someone got Shannon or someone to put that dress from that portrait and cleverly got Maria to go along with their story. Though in Maria's case, just seeing the dress would probably convince her that it was really Beatrice. Maybe it doesn't really matter who handed her that letter. The important thing is who sent it. The point is that grandfather wanted to cause an uproar by assuming the name of the witch. Seriously, that old geezer's good at riling people up. The most likely answer is that our occult-loving grandfather was playing around. Handing the letter over to Maria, who shares the same hobby as he does in such a dramatic way. But they literally said Beatrice did it. Though he failed to give any thought for what Maria would have to go through, making it a pretty shitty thing to do. Can't believe Shannon's your wife? She's like 16, bro. Seriously, messing around with Maria's pure heart. It doesn't matter who handed the letter over. Maria says she got it from Beatrice, so let's treat it that way. I agree. Let's do that. To Maria-chan, Beatrice is kind of like what Santa Claus is to most kids. Did you just compare Beatrice to Satan himself?
Satan?
Satan Claus.
You can summon Satan.
Whether we're dealing with some non-existent 19th person or Satan Claus, as long as we don't acknowledge them, they all exist inside Maria. I guess it could be important to lie to a child, protect their dreams. I don't know. I've always felt iffy about lying to a child about Santa Claus.
And lying. It's like... You make it sound so fucking malicious. No.
Just tell your kids you're getting them gifts.
Or just say, like, yeah, it's Santa.
No.
What's wrong with having dreams?
What's wrong with having dreams?
Sorry that you had a boring childhood. Damn.
I knew about... they told me about Santa Claus. My childhood was...
And clearly it pissed you off so much that he wasn't real that you're like, I don't know if I want to lie to a kid about Santa.
I don't know if it pissed me off. It's just weird.
Why would they have hopes and dreams and like a cool childhood? I don't want them to have that.
I don't think it really takes away anything to just be like, hey, my parents got me
gifts. It takes everything away because other kids have a nice experience believing in Santa, and then when they're like, hey, what was your experience believing in Santa? It's just like, I didn't. They didn't even give me a chance.
They didn't even give me a chance. They didn't even give me a chance. Hold on. Jessica had run her hand on her chin, as though there was something that she couldn't understand. When I called out to her, she came to her senses. Sorry. Well, actually, I was wondering if Maria might have actually met Beatrice. What do you mean by that? Are you saying that there's a 19th person on this island? If you truly take Maria-chan's words to heart, then you would arrive at that answer. No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about the story that someone who we don't know has been living on this island since long ago. Living, you say? Where? In the forest. Just has a cabin in the woods. Just a black screen. It will load one day. The adults were gathered in the dining hall, spending a very long time continuing the discussion that had been started by Beatrice's letter. Kraus strongly claimed that the letter was a simple prank, but he couldn't overturn the claim that Kinzo's failure to deny the letter was answer enough. Judging by Kinzo's character, if he knew that a letter had been written in his name, he would have been mad with rage. Since all the siblings knew that, Krauts had no choice but to withdraw his claim. Without even having to summarize it, the contents of the letter was simple. The person who would solve the witch's epitaph would receive the headship and the assets. This did a lot of damage to Krauts, who had been sure that he would receive the headship, and was better news than the rest of them who had already given up and could have hoped for. However, there were some points that worried them. The person who solved the epitaph was not limited to a member of the Ushimiya family. Taken literally, anyone, no matter how doubtful their origin, might receive the headship. And furthermore, this meant there was a chance that all the Ushimiya family assets would be stolen by some unknown person. Bum, bum, bum. In that sense, it was definitely not a situation where other siblings could afford to lower their guard. Had this letter come from an assassin sent by Kenzo? I hate that they call them assassins. It's an assassin. Calling themselves Beatrice? Was the scheme of some unknown person trying to steal the Ushimiya family's wealth. They still didn't know the truth. But they could say one thing for certain. Maria had received this problematic letter. Today on this island. In other words, someone planning something to do with that letter was on this island today. Had it been set up by Kinzo, one of the 4 siblings? Or maybe some unknown person? No matter how much they suspected each other, they couldn't reach a conclusion. After getting tired of bickering with each other, they finally reached the extremely obvious conclusion that doubting each other was just a waste of time. We've made no progress. We've just been spinning our wheels. That's right. And the mere fact that you've realized it means we won't have to waste any more time. It is not certain that father sent the letter. My husband is merely exasperated by your inability to hold a conversation. Who's unable to hold a conversation? You keep yelling at me every time I say something. I love her smug face there. I both hate and like Eva. It's very confusing. Do you truly think that such shameful behavior is fitting for a member of the Ushimiya family? Would you give it a rest, Eva? You too, Natsuri-san. That topic's finished for now. Shall we all cool our heads off for now? Let's have some cold drinks brought over. That sounds good. It would probably be wiser if we cooled our heads. Don't you want to take a short break too, dear? Aniki looks like she's in a bad mood. So I'll pass the break. But I agree about the cool drinks. Rosa, have someone bring some water. A whole pitcher. Yes, understood. Rosa headed over to the extension telephone in the corner of the room and called the servant's room. So it's working. She then passed on what Rudolph had told her to the person on the other end. Okay, so the extension phone is working?
For now.
Vicious bickering up until now vanished as though it had been a lie. That silence continued until Gouda finished setting the table and retreated from the room, and then they started bickering immediately after he left. Is there anything else that you require? No. Please leave us. Yes. Then if you would excuse me. If you need anything, call me at any time. Yes, Gouda, that is your job, leave. After listening to the sound of Gouda's footsteps disappear off into the distance, everyone took a deep breath at the same time to break the tension. It sure is raining hard. I wonder if this 19th person is taking shelter in the Rose Garden Arbor by now. I wonder. They might be able to escape the rain there, but it would be quite cold. A mysterious 19th person is a visitor. Sounds pretty interesting. Just like a mystery novel. Normally in that kind of story, it's a safe bet that this person doesn't exist, that one of us 18 would be faking it. I would love if just one point one person was like, how many people are on this island? Like 18, right? So, like they would just count the people instead of just knowing off the top of their head that there's 18. I suspect Genji and the others. Just as I thought, it would have been better if we had dismissed all of the servants of the One-Winged Eagle, no matter what excuses that we had to make. Come now, don't say that. You must be grateful for their long years of service. Of course, we can't let our guard down. I'm sure you're gay too, Nissan. Nissan, whatever. That was whether or not father was behind this. Person who handed Maria that letter was a servant. Indeed. In any event, we were all being friendly in our big happy circle until dinner, weren't we? All of the siblings have alibis. Only a servant could have handed Maria that letter. But all of the servants said that they were too busy with the bed making to have any spare time during which they could have given Maria Chan in the rose garden. Yeah, they could say that. Hey, what are you trying to say then? You aren't saying that the witch of the forest, Beatrice-sama, came over and actually handed Maria the letter, are you? Ah, ha. Rosa, you used to believe in that so much, it really frightened you, right? Don't tell me you still believe it at this age. In the witch of the forest. If she did exist, I'd love for her to appear. But no matter how much I wish she didn't appear before me even once. She didn't save me from my crisis. Of course not. I just thought that since all 18 of us said we didn't do it, there might be really a 19th person. That can't be in the first place. We were the only ones who came in on that boat. We didn't see any mysterious stranger riding with us. You don't think they could have swam across this rough sea, right? I can't really imagine it. Logically, that's true. It's difficult to imagine that there is a single hidden and uninvited guest on this isolated island. However, it looks like some of us still can't abandon the possibility completely, right? Hideyoshi had laughed it off, saying there couldn't be a 19th person, but Kyrie had sensitively picked up on the delicate atmosphere among the four siblings. In a normal situation, there shouldn't have been any uninvited guests on a small, isolated island. How would they have come here and from where? And where were they hiding? And why hadn't they appeared openly even though they had sent a letter in their name? Nothing could explain that. But not only had the four siblings not joined on Hideyoshi's laughing, they also seemed unable to completely deny in their hearts the possibility of a 19th person. Kyrie-san, please don't misunderstand. It's not as though we believe in anything like that fairy tale legend of the witch. It's just another topic to insult father, simply speaking of such a thing as a betrayal against him. Giggle, giggle. I wonder. However, this is father we're talking about. Could be possible, right? I don't know anything. What's this? What's this? Why has everyone gotten so gloomy? What are you talking about? In short, the legend of the witch isn't a joke, but a fact. That's ridiculous. Of course, nobody believes in some witch riding in a broom and flying in the sky. But the woman in that portrait, Beatrice, might really have existed on this island. Hideyoshi-san? It looks like we aren't talking about a witch, but something a little simpler. So, it must be something like this. Everyone suspects that father had a mistress named Beatrice secretly living somewhere on this island. Is that it? Father was always exemplary at keeping strictly to the rules. Oh my fucking
god.
It is completely inconceivable that he would bring something so filthy onto this island. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Kenzo seems like a dick. I can see him doing something like that.
Hard.
Natsui's just overcompensating right now. Natsui snapped at them immediately, but it looked like the four siblings, including Kraus, didn't agree. On the contrary, they appeared to think Kenzo wouldn't even have hesitated to do something like that. Yeah, and that's his kids. Maybe you should listen to them. From the beginning, it had been whispered that Kenzo had built a mansion on this island specifically because of the existence of an entrancing mistress. I'm sorry, Natsui-san. I know how much you respected Dad, but that rumor's been around for a long time. All the buildings in Rokujima were built by Dad on his own. People have always guessed he had some contraption or secret room set up in the mansion that only he knew about. There's no secret rooms, apparently. And it's always been whispered that hidden somewhere on this island, there's a secret mansion none of us know about. Ooh. That's more interesting. I see. This island might look small on a map, but it's quite large for just the Ushimiya family to live on. And you guys have never really been allowed in the forest. So people have suspected that he built a secret mansion somewhere in the uncivilized forest for his mistress to live in. That would be quite a large-scale scheme. In the beginning, people thought it might be somewhere inside this mansion. That there might be a hidden basement with a fabulous hidden room where the witch in the portrait was secretly hiding. That would be weird. After seeing that intricate auto lock on Dad's study, it isn't too hard to imagine. After all, Father did spread the rumor that a large amount of gold was hidden somewhere by some mechanism. I wouldn't be surprised if there existed some hidden room in this very mansion that none of us know about yet.
Actually, it wasn't introduced in the first chapter, so...
Shut up. When Mother was alive, she would often scour the entire mansion, searching for Father when he wasn't anywhere to be found. Mother also suspected that Rudolph just said... I mean, they are mentioning secret rooms now in the story, so it could pop up now, maybe.
No.
No? Because that is one of the rules. You have to at least mention secret rooms and, like, talk about it being there. Can't just pop up after the murder happens. She believed that there was a hidden door or a stairway somewhere and that his blonde-haired mistress was hidden behind it. What the hell was that?
What?
What did you just open? What is that?
Don't worry about it.
So loud. It's hard to believe. But there are some actual examples in other countries of people cheating with someone over a period of several decades and making them live in a hidden attic room. Furthermore, Kenzo had a mansion this extravagant. It was possible to suspect the existence of a hidden room. From what I've heard, the legend of Rokujima Witch was just a fairy tale made up to scare children away from the uncivilized forest. But it's starting to sound like there's a little more to the story. Well, as you know, this is a lonely island without anything but the Ushimiya family mansion on it. I could keep adding family to that. When Rosa and I were little brats on stormy nights, we would get scared by the sound of trees rustling in the direction of the forest. We had this crazy delusion that something weird might be looking out at us from between those trees. It's only natural for a brat to think of stuff like that. But when Rosa and I complained about it, some people figured it was more than a brat's imagination. Isn't that right, Aniki? Yeah. Brother, okay, I thought you might coincidentally spotted Father's mistress living in secrecy on his island as she went out for a walk and no one was looking. Of course, Mother felt the same. Even among the older servants, you often heard that the ghost story about how the witch of the portrait wanders the mansion at midnight. Outwardly, I laughed it off as just a ghost story, but on the inside, I suspected very much that it hinted at the existence of a hidden mistress. In that case, you're saying that the existence of a 19th person might not be completely ridiculous? That they might actually be somewhere around here? Sounds like one of those devil's proofs Rudolph's always talking about. Why is Rudolph talking about devil's proofs? It might be possible to prove that there is a 19th person, but it's impossible to prove that a 19th person doesn't exist. Should we continue this discussion on the assumption that there's a person named Beatrice hiding somewhere on this island? That's a good plan from the perspective of risk management. It's probably much more prudent to say that she might exist rather than she couldn't exist. I see.
This is also the first time we've seen their conversation.
Yeah, that is true. Sorry, I was a bit careless. Where's the song for just laughing just now? Huh? It's fine, I don't mind. Hideyoshi apologized deeply for taking the worst case scenario lightly, despite calling himself the president of a company. What the fuck? Sorry, bro, you didn't believe in a secret mistress on the island still.
Yeah, bro, what the fuck?
Silence fell again. Preparing for the existence of a 19th person would mean, in effect, acknowledging the presence of some unknown person hidden on this island. And since this person might be planning something shady, it was only natural that the conversation would turn into an ominous direction. In the past, Father would sometimes suddenly disappear without telling anyone where he went. After all, he is a man who values silence. It wouldn't have been out of the ordinary for him to shut himself up in some library room after purposely not telling anyone where he was going. However, when the witch theory was slowly refined into the theory about his mistress, people eventually whispered that he was secretly going back and forth to see her. Mom was totally paranoid in her last years. She'd sometimes suddenly start making a fuss about the servants to start looking for Dad immediately because of some urgent situation. Yes, that did happen sometimes. Mother was always doing things like that in her late years, and that frightening atmosphere still hasn't gone away. I can say it for certain now. She was a person to be pitied. So then, what happened with those large-scale searches of the house? Did they find anything? No. Father wasn't caught foolishly in a hidden room even once. Always after a long time had passed, he would suddenly show up somewhere. Then he'd say that he'd taken a nap in some library room, or that the wind had summoned him to take a walk on the beach. But it was always some place where the servants had already looked. We never knew where Father had gone. Even at that time, Grandfather was famous for his occult inclinations. So some of the servants exaggerated, saying that he might have turned into a butterflies and danced around in the rose garden. Huh. So there's something with the butterflies coming up there. So in short, Father frequently disappeared and no one knew where he went. Yeah. Since we couldn't find him no matter how much we looked inside the mansion, we got him more and more sure that Dad might have been somewhere outside. This feels important. But the area outside the mansion isn't large at all, which leaves only the forest. If you tie that with the legend of the witch, you get the theory like this. Father actually built a hidden mansion somewhere in the forest. Inside of which, a mistress by the name of Beatrice lived, and he sometimes went to see her. I was also young at the time. I was so eager to find where Father was having his affair that at one time I followed him when he went outside. Holy shit. So when you were young, you thought your father was having an affair. That's fucked. That's fucked.
Pretty normal.
Of course it was a failure. Every time Father went out, he was oddly intent on avoiding places where he might be seen. He was extremely careful to prevent anyone from spotting him. He was extraordinarily earnest in his attempts to do so. But that actually made me sure. He must have been going out for some reason that the members of his family couldn't know about. And that he'd been going to meet his mistress. Probably trying to avoid being seen. After seeing Hideyoshi nod and say yes, yes, as though this was quite obvious, Eva got a little sullen. Well, anyway. This island was like a sketchbook in which Father, with his Western obsession, could draw out all his dreams. Everything about this island was exactly how Father wanted it. It wouldn't be odd at all if there was a hidden mansion somewhere for his mistress to live in. Eva's words spoke for what all of the siblings had come to think. For a while, the room returned to silence again, and everyone listened to the sound of the wind and rain. Kenzo was doing something sus.
What do you mean? He was just living his best life.
Was there a hidden mansion on this island, and Kenzo's mistress had been living there and hiding for a long, long time?
Can't even go for a walk at night without people thinking you're having an affair.
Everyone thought they were being too suspicious, and they hesitated for a long time without speaking. But shared a common opinion. Kyrie, who had been listening the whole time with her eyes closed, spoke to no one in particular. How long has this rumor about Father's mistress been around? As soon as we moved to this island about 30 years ago. After all, it probably would have been impossible for him to have a hidden mansion built while we were there. People and materials would have been going in and out. It would have been exposed quickly. So if it was possible, it happened before we moved here. It probably couldn't have been built along with this mansion when we were still living in Ododara. Since Father had set up a double life with his family and his mistress, it's probably reasonable to assume that he had it all planned from the beginning. And his relationship with that mistress probably went back to his days when he lived in Ododara. Odawara? I can't even pronounce shit. I hate it. Probably. If, as the father says, I couldn't fucking pronounce fucking Lovecraftian words last night. when I was playing Sucker for Love.
Yeah,
Now
and
I
you're
can't-
supposed to be an eldritch god.
That's just made up Eldritch shit. They had to make it reasonable for human beings to read it without going insane.
Shaking my head.
If, as the father says, she is the source of the vast amount of gold, he used the gate and the funds that resurrected the Ushimiya family. We could probably conclude that they had a close relationship since Odadar. I can't. I'm done. A relationship trusting her enough to lend him a vast quantity of gold. I can't even imagine how old that relationship must have been. Perhaps father gave her some kind of valuable advice for succeeding in business. It's natural to think that out of a sense of gratitude for that person gave father the gold. If you think about it in that way, it's obvious that they would have had a close relationship after that. Rather than a festering relationship with a mistress, it was probably a relationship of gratitude to the person who saved the Ushimiya family from its crisis.
Yeah, cope.
I don't know if what Natsu's saying has a ring of truth to it or not. But even in that case, isn't building a hidden mansion and having her live in it going a bit too far? Doesn't that mean they felt something a bit more than gratitude? Good job for calling that out super quick, bud.
Yeah, right? Like, come on.
Well, this is all just speculation in the first place. No one's ever found that hidden mansion. Go search for it then. You were planning on expanding this island into a resort, right? As you were doing that, you didn't manage to stumble upon it by chance, did you? Maybe even bumped into some gold there, too. Ha 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 ha. Do you think Rokujima is a treasure island or something? Don't play dumb. We know that although you say you're opening a resort, you have really been planning to investigate the island, right? Judging by all that trouble and confusion we were talking about earlier, you haven't been very successful, have you? I don't know what you're talking about, but it's a misunderstanding. Isn't it perfectly natural that investigating this island would be the first step in turning it into a resort? That is true. Kraus tried to play dumb, but it was plainly obvious to his siblings who knew him well. Kraus was definitely sure of the existence of the hidden mansion. And under the pretense of opening a resort, he had been closely investigating the island, searching for a clue as to the location of the hidden gold. I mean, we did talk about the church being important to him. Could the church have been the hidden mansion at some point and he just converted it to a church? No.
No.
Maybe his entrance to the hidden mansion's through the church? No, there's no hidden way in. There's only one way in. They couldn't tell whether that conviction was just him overthinking things or whether it was based on some physical proof. Still, if Kraus with all his guile was sure. That was enough proof for the other siblings to be sure too. The story about a witch living in a forest is obviously a fairy tale. The story about some blonde-haired girl living secretly in a mansion no one knows about in the middle of the forest isn't much better. That's right. That really would be just like a fairy tale. You like those, don't you, Rosa? What? Stop being a bitch. Huh? Well, when the mansion was built on this island, Father was at the height of his prosperity. With his money, he could probably obtain anything, make any of his wild imaginations real. A mansion in a forest where a witch quietly reigns? It sounds like the kind of situation Father would like. Doesn't it? Like something from the occult or fairy tale. Feels like Dad's kind of hobby. On this island, which the Ushimiya family had lived for 30 years now. A hidden mansion that no one knew about had been quietly built to house a witch about whom nothing was known about except for what we guessed from the portrait. Even this hastily thrown together theory might not be completely usual, considering all Kenzo's strange habits on his vast wealth. This sounds like a stretch, honestly, in a lot of ways.
Oh, what do you mean?
It might not have been impossible for Father to build a hidden mansion to satisfy his dreams. However, let's be realistic. Would it be possible to house his beloved woman in that hidden mansion for decades without it becoming inconvenient? Well, if there was love, it could be doable, right?
Without love.
Shut the fuck up. Think of the facilities needed to let his beloved woman live healthily. In a way that would satisfy Father. For example, even if it was on a small scale, it would need to be intricate and pleasant residence. Oh my god! Beatrice has her own servants too! This could work in a lot of ways.
So you're saying that there's just a bunch of there's a different mansion with a bunch of its own servants.
No, but I'm saying it could. It's like, but by their logic, it could work. I don't actually think there is. That's too far. But it's fun to think about. Oh, wait, it's satisfied. For example, let's go. What do you mean intricate and pleasant residence? They'd probably need to have electricity, gas, and running water maintained, as well as some people to see to her needs. Even cooking would be quite difficult. She would need clothes, makeup, the daily necessities. The needs of a woman aren't simple. Would it be possible to maintain all of that without any of the family and servants noticing? When you say it that way, it sure sounds like a weak point in our minds. There are more than 6,000 demons in the island. Shut the fuck up. Also, it's like, what does she only have like 72 under her command? When you say it that way, it sure sounds like a weak point in your theory, but it isn't enough to get rid of my feelings that Dad might have been doing it anyways. He was doing something sus, that's for sure. After all, it's Dad we're talking about. Because I fully believe that Kenzo was doing something sus.
He can't even go for a walk without people saying, "Oh, you're being sus."
He was being sus while doing that walk. That's right. It's our father. If father wanted to succeed in an endeavor, he would succeed no matter what. Stop! Stop. Stop. I'm liking you less and less all the time, Natsuri. Stop.
His dick is so far down her throat, dude.
Just quit it, Natsuri. Just stop it. Saying that something would be difficult for a normal person and therefore impossible does not imply when it comes to father. Oh my god. Indeed. You should never underestimate father. You too, Kraus? Huh? Father's madness can't be understood by normal people. I wouldn't put it past that, Kenzo. As long as you stick to this phrase, a considerable amount of credibility can dwell in any absurd story. Wait until Natsuri drop kicks Shannon off a cliff? What the fuck are you saying? However, that didn't cause the importance of what Kirie had said to waver. If that happens, you spoiled something for me? I'm mad at you. There is a difference from stealthily raising a kitten in a cardboard box and keeping it a secret from your parents. Taking care of a person in secret over a period of 30 years would be an incalculable, massive task. After all, Father's legend of the gold started before he gained possession of Rokujima. That mean his relationship with his mistress was over 30 years ago. No, she doesn't do it to Shannon. Okay, if she drop kicks anyone off a cliff at this point, I'm mad. Maybe canon. Okay, we all know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about those two. Don't mention those two. That means his relationship with his mistress is over 30 years long. I'm starting to sound insane when I talk about this fucking story.
Starting? You've been insane, buddy. It's alright.
How would that make her? In the worst case, she could be as old as us or older, right? By that age, her body starts to break down. I don't care what the mansion's like. I wouldn't use the word agreeable to describe a living place where people's eyes can't reach. Almost like she's under house arrest. That's right. If what father told us about Beatrice is true, then the relationship has lasted for over 30 years. Wait until Beatrice is revealed to be your wife? No. She won't be. She might have been a charming young woman at the time, but it probably makes sense to assume she's an old bag like us now. What the fuck?
An old bag.
I can easily imagine that given the contents of that letter. You should talk. Kraus laughed as if none of this applied to him. Of course Eva was offended, but she didn't strike back. Quit it. So if everything we're thinking is true, then she should be joining in on Dad's inheritance problem with her head held high. After all, there's a good chance their love was mutual, unlike with Mom. Damn. If she knows she's his mistress, she might also be proud to be his true wife.
What the fuck?
That is an insult to Mother. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Just slid down my entire tablet screen onto my desk.
Is your bird okay? He sounds like he's been going crazy today.
He's tweaking.
Roxas, you good?
Are you alright, dude? You tweaking?
He's got to find Kingdom Hearts.
Fuck. What is going on?
Yeah, sorry.
Executing him? He just woke up like 2 hours ago.
Send him back to Sora. Everyone knows that it was a political marriage decided on by the elders and among his relatives. Because that it definitely wouldn't be strange for Dad to have a mistress. Starting to mention the mom a lot more. I'm interested in her.
Yeah, you don't get to know. Don't get too interested in her. She's not no one. She doesn't matter. I don't even know her name.
The family sank after the Great Kanto earthquake, and father was set up as the Ushimura family head against his will. However, in the beginning, the elder relatives treated Kenzo like a dummy and influenced him powerfully, almost like he was a puppet. He wasn't permitted to decide anything by himself, not even his marriage partner. Ever since he met that golden witch in those distant days, Kenzo's legend of the gold was quickly embellished into something dramatic. In other words, it could mean that Kenzo really did find a woman he loved. If she also knew the whole story, even if they weren't marriage partners, it wouldn't have been odd for her to consider herself his true wife and set inside her heart. And now that the person registered as his true life was already dead, which means she might feel confident staking her claim, not just for her rights to his assets, but regarding the battle over the headship too. I see. Starting to see the purpose of this letter. The headship goes to the one who solves the riddle of the epitaph. Is that what it means? Even if that mistress was added to the family ranking system, she isn't a direct relative of father, so she'd be inferior even to the children. In other words, she'd be one step below Rosa in rank. That wouldn't be a good position to enter the battle for the headship from. Damn! That was brutal to Rosa! I see, so that's it. If someone can solve the witch's riddle, they'll get the headship regardless of rank. In other words, it's the most advantageous condition Beatrice could possibly get, since she's got no chance otherwise. Huh. The reviver of the Ushimura family was made possible by the gold Beatrice had bestowed. That was quite a distinguishing service she had provided. She had built that wealth together with Kenzo, so it was natural that she would think of herself as the one who should inherit it. It would also be natural for her to despise the thought of giving it up to the children of the wife Kenzo never loved. How could she be so impotent? Even such a mistress actually exists, joining in on the battle for the rights to the head inheritance would be a reckless action far above her place. What a disregard for her own position. Can you tell me something? The bottle that they find, the name's on it Maria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about a witch. And each part is at a different bottle, right? At the end. So the second part had a different bottle they found? Or was it like a different part of what was read in the bottle? Because I remember them saying something about the bottle.
Yeah,
again.
yeah, it's a different bottle.
So, huh. Hold on. My brain just had like a moment. I just thought of something. I just thought of something sad. That I don't want to think is the true story, and I'm not going to say it out loud until I have more information, because it's that fucked.
No, I want to know.
No, I don't want to say it.
No,
I'm actually about to cry if it's fucking right.
No, tell me.
Oh, man. So, Kenzo's sneaking off. No, I'm not saying it.
No,
I'm not saying it.
Discord. I need to know. Because I don't think you're right.
Okay. I actually hope I'm wrong. Is the thing. Hold on. Hold on.
It's like, bro, I gotta know. I need to know. What are you cooking?
Anyway.
No.
Okay.
We don't go in that direction. No.
Okay.
No.
I was like, no, wait a minute.
No.
Thank you. Shit. Hold on, I need a drink. That almost fucked me up.
It's worse than that.
What? How's it worse than that? What I said was really fucked.
Yeah, I can. How do we tell him?
Am I at least getting on the right track?
No,
Fuck.
but it is way worse than that.
It's worse than that.
Way worse.
Okay, I'm gonna say it out loud since she said it's not true. I was like, we don't know who the dad is for Rosa's kid. And Kenzo kept sneaking off doing sus shit. And I was like, is Kenzo Maria's dad? I was like, holy shit. Anyway, I'm glad it's not that.
Yeah, it's worse than that. Don't worry.
What the fuck do you mean? How is it worse than that?
Ooh,
Fuck.
we'll find out.
She had to come to the Ishimiya register due to complicated circumstances. Those who knew that understood more or less why she was so angry for the sake of Kenzo's dead wife.
Hello?
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I'm getting a lot of information from this, actually. This conversation's giving me some information that I'm trying to work with.
Working hard right now.
Thanks to that reckless action of hers, we're all given the chance now. Hold on. I'm going to send you something.
Let's see what he's cooking this time, chat. Close.
Close?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty close.
Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. I have one more question.
Indeed, dude. He is mad cooking. No.
Fuck! That would have answered a few questions.
That's so off the mark. Like, you couldn't be more wrong.
Fuck. Okay. But I was close with the one thing?
Yes.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Can I say that out loud? Or is that too spoily for people?
I mean, you can
And
say
it's
it
my
out loud.
stream.
It is your
So,
stream.
I speculated that Beatrice could be Kenzo's daughter or some shit from the mistress. And she said, close. Close. Which makes me... It's worse than Maria being his daughter. Is that in the same path of, like... Oh, no.
How fucked up can Rikishi make a story? Let's see.
Okay. Hold on. I have one more question.
Holy fuck.
Please say no. I want you to say no. Say no!
She continue reading.
Just say no. Say no! No! Say it! Please! Please say no! Hold on, guys. I'll give me a second. I don't even want to say that one out loud. No! Say psych! Say
I didn't
psych
even
right
say
now.
yes or anything.
Okay, say no. Say no then.
I can't.
Say no. Hold on. I need a drink. Fuck. Okay. Okay. She won't say no because I asked the question. I don't even want to say this because I was like, could Beatrice? So remember I said Beatrice could be his daughter, and she was like, close. I was like, could it be his daughter and mistress? And she won't say no. Say no. Say I'm far off. Say I'm far off. No, Rikishi wouldn't do that. He wouldn't. He wouldn't do that. Say psych right now.
Ooh.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna take a break, guys. I'll be back.
Too much for him. It broke him. Oh no. That's so funny, dude. Oh man. Waiting for him to come back from his, like, I don't know, I guess he's sobbing. That's the only thing I can imagine right now. How do we tell him that it's even worse than that? Oh, that's so funny. I love when people get traumatized.
Okay, I'm back.
I'm back.
Okay.
You done sobbing?
I wasn't sobbing. That's just a lot. That was just a lot. Because it raises some more questions I have now.
Anyways, I said it's worse than that.
It's worse than Beatrice? It's worse than that?
Yeah.
But it's worse than that, what I just said.
Yeah.
Hold on. I need a second. This is too much. I'm too tired for this today. I can't be having these revelations right now. Fuck.
Really fucking funny.
Okay, I have some other thoughts, but I'll just keep reading. Maybe the reading will tell me I'm wrong. Well, thanks to that reckless action of hers, we have a chance now, right? Father's given his silent approval. Would a person who succeeds you should be a family be his mistress, Beatrice, or one of us, their relatives? I don't like this. He doesn't love. Maybe he wants to make us struggle over that to see who's worthy. As Eva giggled roguishly, Kraus shrugged his shoulders and looked away. However, since she's the one who brought this role to light in the first place, maybe that means it gives her a significant advantage? That's right. In the first place, if Beatrice meant that letter literally she's father's alchemist, in other words, she's the manager of his gold. It wouldn't be strange that all she knew where she was hiding, would it? Isn't that harsh? It's like she's giving us a riddle she knows the answer to. She'll probably show up rudely and say, hey, here's the answer. I'll take the headship now. And snatch everything away from us. I like the music. That's right.
Yeah, it's called Suspicion.
Why do you just know these music names off the top of your head? The person who brings up a riddle knows the answer. There's a good chance that this is all a trap to steal everything away from us. I'm still fucked. Hold on. How is it worse than that?
I didn't confirm or deny anything. I just said it's worse than that.
How is it worse than that, though? How is that even possible?
That's what I thought, too.
What do you mean that's what you thought too?
When I was reading, I was like, how is it worse? And then it got worse, and I was like, oh.
How is that even possible? If you really think about it like that, don't you start to doubt whether she really had any gold in the first place? Why would she tell us about it? All she has to do is keep quiet and embezzle it. Like you? It really is strange. That certainly was the case. If the epitaph showed the way the hidden gold, why would she challenge them to try to solve it? If they actually did solve it, wouldn't the gold all be stolen from her? Could it be that this person was trying to stir the siblings up so they'd solve the epitaph? Thank you for resubbing, Ak. I'm a little bit fucked right now, Ak. I learned some information I didn't want to learn anymore.
Hey,
I don't want
to
to
ask the question, and I did not.
I don't want to know this story anymore. I do at the same time I don't. So I speculated that Beatrice could be Kenzo's daughter and his mistress, and she didn't confirm or deny that, but she said it's worse than that. Which in my head, how can it be worse than that? Is all I can't. I can't right now. Hold on.
What's worse than a man fucking his own daughter?
She was a kid when it happened? Say no. Say no.
No kid stuff here.
Okay. Whew.
It's still worse, but no kid stuff.
Sometimes the family tree is a wreath.
Yeah, sometimes it's a wreath. Have you seen the family tree for School Days? Like all the characters in School Days?
I walked into something. Sorry, Cat Dad. we're deep into this story now.
Hold on, I need to show you the School Days family tree.
I've seen it.
Yeah, the same dude fathers like everybody, and then also.
I've never watched Family. I've never even watched that, but I've seen the family tree.
It's remarkable.
He fathers like 90% of the characters, right?
He fathers all of the characters. Every single fucking wife he has, he's fathered her too.
That's gross. Why can you go to the club when you can go down the hall? Heck, no!
Man, it's
no!
right there.
No, I can't. I just with how deep I am to the story and how fucked up it is. I'm just trying to want. I wish I never had that thought.
If you go to the dude's family and relatives spot on the fucking School Days wiki, it's so fucking massive. Funny.
I don't know if it's funny, but it's something.
It's a fictional game. These aren't real people. Yeah, it's funny that he managed to somehow father everybody in the town and then fuck them and father more. Like, this guy must be 100 years old.
Could it be that this person was trying to stir their siblings up so they'd solve the epitaph? I wonder if the author did that as like a joke and then planned to steal it away at the last second.
I learned something very funny about the sequel to School Days, the visual
novel. There's a sequel?
Yeah, it's called what's it called? Summer Days or something? When they first released it, they forgot to put the censoring on the nudie bits, which is illegal in Japan.
Oh,
so
shit.
They had to physically recall the visual novel.
Oh, shit. It was an extremely logical possibility. No. If you spin the I hate that word now. I can't take it. Spin the chessboard around. There's a pretty good chance that they actually do have the gold. Why are you so certain? Wait, Aniki. Kyrie, please keep talking. Why do you think that?
Wow, I like how
I like how he actually listens to her sometimes, which shows you he does love his wife, at least. Fuck. After all, do they think you will let go of you should be your family headship? Just because someone tells us the answer to the riddle in the witch's epitaph? That will be so impressed by their answer that we'll just give up? Well, that's true. No way they're so naive that they assumed we'd just give up after being told the answer to a riddle. Does he listen just because he loves his wife or because he loves his daughter? Now, see, his daughter isn't here, and this is his actual wife that he cheated on his old wife with, so it's fine.
Dying old wife. His wife that was dying of cancer. This is the woman that he cheated on her with.
We were talking about his dad earlier. We were talking about his dad earlier, so.
Yeah, his dad.
We just give up being told the answer to the riddle that we just go, here you go, and hand it over. Of course. The headship of the Ushimiya family is not something that can be handed over so easily.
That would make the mistress his sister and mother. Well, stepmom, I guess.
No. And that is it exactly. No matter how Beatrice might one-sidedly propose a game like this, you know, she was so spectacularly to show us an answer. Stop. There's no way we'd immediately hand over the headship. In other words, she has a compelling force in the form of challenging us to a game with equal conditions for us all. This won't truly count as a game. You're right. Unless the losers have no choice but to give up on the headship, because of a compelling force, this won't really count as a game. What might this compelling force be? Would they bind us in chains and threaten us to hand over the headship? I see. I get it. They just have to do something to make us want to give up the headship willingly. Like kill you all? Yes, I see. To do that, Beatrice would have to own over 10 tons of gold. I see. I get it too. In other words, it's a trade. Huh? What do you mean? A trade? A trade what?
Oh my god.
Ushimiya family headship for the hidden gold. Beatrice surely plans to tell us the location of the 10 tons of gold and use that as a bribe to gain Ushimiya family headship. What? What is this logic? Anyway. Ridiculous. They want to trade the headship of the glorious Ushimiya family for money? I mean,
I'd take the money.
I'd just start a new family with the money.
10 fucking tons of gold? Bye, family.
That's blasphemy. Why is it blasphemy? It's just a name at the end of the day, bro.
I'd my left arm for 10 tons of gold.
Honestly, I'd give up almost anything for 10 tons of gold.
You have my identity.
Yeah, what do I need it for? I have 10 tons of gold. I'll just fucking...
buy a new identity.
Yeah, at that point. Blasphemy against the Ushimiya family. Please listen without getting mad. Oh, thank you for the follow. Lunacy. Welcome in. About how much wealth does the glorious Ushimiya family have right now? Are we really that affluent? The definition of affluence is not dependent on property.
The fuck up, Natsuri.
It is about heart. Natsuri, you fucking imbecile.
It's all about money.
Our financial situation has nothing to... What? That is the most... No, you're dumb. Kraus interrupted Natsuri as she started going on emotionally. In this situation, the more she went on like that... Yeah, we can't be as fancy without the stash. That's tentacles, not stash. Hold on. Stash is not coming out. There we go. In this situation, the more she went on like that, the worse it would actually sound. Welcome in, Saint. Me aside, I hear your current situations are quite unfavorable. You missed the fun parts. Oh, really? I've heard that your financial situation really bad, too.
Theories about whether or not Dad had a daughter, and then also that daughter was his mistress as well.
Oh, yeah, I'd give up a lot for 64.3 million. I'd give up like 30 years of my life. Offering up more and more as collateral for the new money to gamble. That's just one ton? Oh,
10 tons
man.
would be even more.
Oh. That would be glorious. Repeatedly dabbling in new games, unable to accept your losses. If you count what's going on behind the scenes, you're in even bigger financial straits than the rest of us. Just how much money have you lost? You have no talent. Damn. She's really going after him. Who are you saying has no talent? And what do you mean financial straits? Natsuru become indignant, indignant once more, but Kraus raised his hand again to interrupt her. It seems you're making a small mistake. Business is not something that can be judged based on current progress alone. Fuck off!
What does that even mean?
For someone with a long-term outlook on business such as myself, have you succeeded in any business venture? Didn't we go over all his past business ventures that failed?
Have you heard about NFTs?
Have you heard about my closed species? Ooh.
Okay, a closed species would still net you more than an NFT.
He talks fancy. It seems you're making a mistake. Business is not something for someone to do it long. Yep, okay. It may sometimes appear at a glance that I have suffered significant short-term losses. You have. We've been collecting evidence. Your position right now is not one to be proud of. So this is what Kyrie is trying to say. Every one of us has got money trouble. And Beatrice has 10 tons of gold. As the only person who knows the location of the 10 tons of gold, Beatrice is planning on losing it to force us all to sell the headship. About how much is 10 tons of gold worth? They do kind of go back and forth about that, don't they? A few times? I feel like I've seen that.
They've been consistently saying 10 tons.
I remember them mentioning the yen worth of gold, though.
Yeah, I think they were talking about like 1 gold bar or something. They talk about the fucking how much it would be worth and all that quite a lot.
Welcome in bed, by the way. Hello. At a rough estimate, let's say 2 billion yen. No, 20 billion yen. With that much piled up, we'll be ecstatic to accept her as a successor. Yeah, you can have the whole family for that much gold. You can have this mansion. I'll just make a new one. This island. The scene returned to silence. In fact, the rain and wind felt even noisier now. It was probably the sound of the windstorm racing through the insides of their minds. That's a lot of money.
This is in 1960... No,
1980.
1986. My bad. So you also have to account for inflation.
Yeah, it would probably be, it's probably fucking more shit. To think we'd give up the headship to some woman of doubtful origin. Just because she had a little money stored up. A little money? Isn't enough gold to make sure it's not enough.
Fortunately not.
Oh no. Don't be stupid. The headship wasn't even ours in the first place, right? We've got nothing to lose and money to gain. We'll have to calculate our profit and loss, but it's something worth listening to. They make a lot of assumptions. They knew Kraus had eaten up so much of the Ushimiya family's assets. So it was the dregs that remained of that inheritance versus the cost of being accepted as the head Beatrice would pay. It was a shame, but honestly, the former was less enticing than the latter. But it probably wouldn't end up as 4 equal portions. Since Aniki would be giving up his position as successor, his portion would have to be larger. Makes me feel kind of jealous, you know? Dear, the amount of money isn't the problem, right? Your cowardly younger siblings are trying to sell the glory of the Ushimiya family for money, don't you see? I would sell it for money as well. Why aren't you displaying your dignity as the oldest son? Natsuri, stay quiet for a while. Damn. Dear? This is a dizzying proposal. Ryu's planning on getting 25 million yen out of Aniki. I got they're saying this right in front of him. If the witch treats us with 10% of those 10 tons. That's 2 billion. Yeah. That means she's treating us with 10 times our original goal. That alone would be more than enough for us. But the witch never said that. She said that you guys have a competition. Where is this coming from? It's not like I got any attachment to the Ushimiya name. I'd be happy to sell it off. Even 10 tons is a slightly optimistic figure. Yes, it'd still be a fascinating prospect for us. We were trying to form an alliance among the siblings to kick this outsider called Beatrice out. But if this is her plan, it will tear apart the unity between us. Yeah, by this point, we can state it clearly. The goal of Beatrice's letter was to disturb our alliance.
Unity. I want 10 tons of gold.
I want a ton of gold. I want gold. Give me 1 gold bar. The 3 younger siblings who have never had anything to do with the inheritance were paid enough money to satisfy them, then they would happily accept Beatrice as the next head. A moat had been dug all around Kraus. In that case, the negotiation would be one-on-one between her and Kraus. He tried to look strong, but Kraus's financial and political situation was extremely weak. He might bluff in front of his siblings, but on the inside, he was considering entering negotiations depending on the sum of money involved. In order to bury his losses, Kraus had taken advantage of the fact that Kinzo had shut himself up in the room and had embezzled Kinzo's personal assets. Therefore, when Kinzo died and inheritance was distributed, Kraus's situation would probably be investigated. But if he gave up his seat as the head to Beatrice, she would also receive rights to the assets, and as a result, the distribution of the inheritance to the siblings would not occur. In other words, Kraus' embezzlement might not have been known to the other siblings. Of course, the siblings were frightened of Kinzo, but it was doubtful whether they still actually respected him as a father. By this time, they each had their own families, their own wealth, and their own lives. If they were paid enough money in exchange for Okajima, the wreckage of Kinzo's dreams, there was a significant likelihood that they would relinquish the Ushimiya family name. In other words, Beatrice's victory was already guaranteed in this game. Not as the winner of Beatrice's game, but as the winner of Kinzo's game. Kinzo once ordered that the epitaph be put on display, and until today no one had solved it, so Beatrice solved it. In other words, this is less of a game and more like Beatrice's declaration of victory. However, Kyrie still thought that there might be a catch. If this was a declaration of victory, Beatrice would only had to have displayed the gold openly and state her intent to buy the inheritance. And yet, she had gone to all this trouble telling the siblings to try and solve the epitaph. Why did she set up this new game where she agreed to hand over all the gold and the inheritance to the epitaph solver? Kyrie tried spinning the chessboard around several times. She searched for the sort of ideal strategy Beatrice might be after, something that could lead to this kind of thinking. In the end, she reached a single conclusion. You guys don't know shit. Could it be arrogance? That's possible. Or maybe she's playing? What are you talking about? The witch sent us a letter of challenge, forcing us to try and solve the epitaph. She might be taking us lightly, thinking we could never solve it. However, at the very least, there ought to be an extremely small chance that we solve it. After all, we here have 4 father's children by blood, right? The questioner called together 4 blood relatives who, if they tried frantically and worked together and avoid having those assets stolen from them, might come across the answer of the riddle by chance. The reason the witch had a superior position in negotiations compared to the siblings was that only she knew the location of the hidden gold. But if that hiding place was exposed to someone other than her, the witch's advantage would crumble.
The scene is still going.
Yeah. The scene might be the whole stream, to be honest.
I'm making hot chocolate. Goodbye.
Oh man, I want some hot chocolate. In short, Beatrice gains nothing but risk by writing this witch's letter of challenge. Of course, it might have had the effect of splitting apart the siblings' alliance. But if that was her only goal, why would she take this risk, however slight it might be? It seems reckless to me. But if we keep in mind a certain type of emotion, that risk becomes comprehensible. And you're saying it's arrogance. Yes, that's right. When people have an overwhelming advantage, they tend to get arrogant. And when they do, they want to show off that advantage to the losers, so that they sometimes take on small risks. A moderate amount of risk adds a little spice to the joy of victory. It'd be boring to win without any risk. I understand. I like that kind of thing too. Yeah, I understand it well. I thought of a few plausible explanations for the true motive behind Beatrice's letter, but I think this really might be the truth. The emotion hidden behind the letter was arrogance. Arrogance. She's trying to throw her weight around, looking down on us as if there's no way we can figure out such a difficult epitaph. It might even be possible, if surprising, that the epitaph wasn't written by Father, but by her. Sounds great. Solve the riddle of the epitaph, she says. If only I solved it, I would have made the head, right? I'll solve it. I'll accept the witch's challenge. All of those other idiot siblings could solve it. I'll solve it by myself, and then I'll prove that I'm the one who's fit to succeed to issue me a family. I'll take that challenge. I will. Solve the riddle. Huh. Interesting. I have no idea where the story is gonna go now. I hope it... I can't take this shit no more. Oh, the metaverse. Battler. I see. So she's not a witch, but a mistress named Beatrice who lived on the island. So there can be more than 18 people? Which means I can defeat the line of reasoning that says any crime is impossible for 18 people must involve magic. That's a big scoop. Pardon me, Battler-sama, would you like some black tea and cookies? Beto's butler, who called himself Renovo, appeared out of nowhere. A plate set on the silver tray that he held was filled with delicious-looking, seemingly black tea and cookies. I really don't like this guy's smile. For some reason, it doesn't look like a smile used warmly to greet a guest. Feels like he's mocking me somehow. I don't know if he really takes me for an idiot, or if it's just a joke or something, but it's really irritating me. I don't need any. I'm busy now. Leave me alone. Oh my. Such a shame, and the cookies were delicious too. Cooked so wonderfully they would be wasted on a mere human. I'll eat some when I feel like it. Just set it down somewhere and get out of here. Would that be acceptable? Then I shall do so. You may eat them when they get cold and stale, and then regret to the fullest you did not eat them when they were fresh. You really are annoying. Well, you're a lot better than Beto, who keeps on doing that creepy cackle right next to my ear. Yes, that is quite true. There are times when my lady's laughter becomes quite undignified. Every time I hear it, I find it painful to comprehend. Why such a noble demon as myself must serve such a master? Hey Dino, how's it going? Man, you're weird. If you don't like it, then you couldn't you just not work for her? And yet to continue serving as furniture's joy. If we do not serve, we would hardly be furniture. Setting that aside, how has the game been proceeding? Just now you seem to have found some useful information that quite pleased you. Well, now I wonder what your shallow wit has conjured up. Renovo mocked me and giggled. He followed my earlier words literally and placed his black tea and cookies in a random spot nearby.
Oh, we're in a different scene.
Yeah, we're in the metaverse. And then, in any case, it appears that you are now more confident in the existence of 19th person, yes? Would you be gracious enough to allow me to hear your opinion? Yeah, sure. I'm just going to say it again in front of Beto anyway. No reason to hide it. Basically, looks like there's a hidden mansion somewhere on this island that grandfather had his mistress living there. So the question has been torturing me from whether there are 18 or 19 people can be easily resolved. Yeah, but... Okay. Anyway, Battler, this is a dumb reasoning. Battler's being really dumb right now. You have driven yourself into a corner because of that dead end that you yourself have created. Even though you deny the witch, Battler-sama, you hold a double standard and refuse to accept that the culprit is one of the 18. The easiest way to deny the witch would be to suspect one of the 18. It isn't easy to gather alibis for every one of them. You always find at least one person with a fragile alibi. I could probably continue to deny the witch forever if I just used that person as a scapegoat. However, I refuse to do that. It's useless. It's all useless. Every one of those 18 people is either a parent, a relative, or a cousin to me. What about the servants? And those reliable servants who are sometimes serious and sometimes fun to be with. Won't let myself use any of them as a scapegoat. In the past, my resolve wavered. That's how Beto hit me where my heart was weak. I'm wondering, beyond the not believing, why is Battler the one fighting Beatrice? Is it just that he doesn't believe? Because that seems like a weak...
Made a mistake at one point.
He made a mistake at one point?
Yeah.
Was it just not believing in her? Is that it?
No.
He made a mistake at some point.
Yeah.
Was it in chapter 1?
No, I don't think it was in any of the chapters. It was brought up, though.
It was brought up? What do you mean it was brought up but not in one of the... What?
You didn't directly see what he did wrong, but they talked about it. I'm not telling you which chapter. LMAO.
I think I just had like an idea.
Yeah, what was it?
No, I start to sound crazy at some point saying all my ideas out loud.
What do you mean start?
Okay, I sound even crazier than I already am saying them out loud. I have an idea what it was though. I actually... Yeah, I think I have an idea what it was. I think.
Was it?
No, I don't want to say it. It has a lot of implications to the story, and if I'm wrong, I just look stupid. I don't want to look
afraid of theory building, dude.
Okay. It was the mistake he made was telling Shannon he would come back on a white horse.
Why was that the mistake?
Hey, I don't want to get into it. It makes me sound crazy, okay? Because it gets into that theory I have about Shannon and Cannon being the same fucking person.
It doesn't make any sense. There's so many holes in that.
I know, that's why. But it explains the Cannon being fucking disappearing.
Yeah, but then you open up more plot holes.
Don't worry about it. I think this game is meant to, story is meant to make me fucking find plot holes when I come up with something that's plausible. The whole point. I think we got a whole lot of unreliable narration going on here. Fuck.
I think they straight up told you. It's all very clear to me, especially going back. I'm like, wow, they just straight up said it.
Fuck you. I do have a theory for me. I don't like it though. It's not. It has too many holes.
Your theory is like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. So, what if? No. That doesn't make any sense. Never mind. No, how would that even work?
He's literally talking to himself right now, guys.
Shut up! So... No, I can't say that out loud. That's too stupid.
No, unplug it and throw it away, Dino.
Should you turn it back on? No. Okay, what if Beatrice, Shannon, and Cannon are all one person alternating between those three? I don't know which one's the main persona. Like, maybe Shannon's the main persona?
Look, I think you've had this theory before, and I basically asked you questions, and you're like, I can't explain that.
I can't explain it. I know. All I can say is it's just like, honestly, the only reason why I think it is because the main reason I think it is because of the Cannon disappearing, and them saying he had to have died in that room. And the non-magical reasoning would have to be something like maybe like a second persona being killed in that room. But we do know that it was most likely the quote-unquote witch that killed. So, I mean, I don't know. This is
It was not said in red that the witch killed him.
Oh, that is true. Fuck you. I can't take this shit anymore. There's too much going on in the story. Ugh. The
Skibbity Sigma will.
Okay. The witch you'd love the fuck, huh? Accepting and understanding one's own weakness. It's not something that could often be accomplished. Battler Sama, you use this theory about a 19th person as a spear. Or should I say a shield. In any event, in contrast on how unprepared you were in the previous game. This 19th person thing, I have a feeling is gonna come back on Battler really hard.
There's actually like 29 people on this island.
In fact, you have a compass bearing on how to fight, and is a dramatic leap forward, let us say. With this, you can suspect a 19th person to pursue your theory that the culprit is a human. I really want to know what you're talking about by reading back. Because I've read back in these parts, and I don't know what you're talking about.
When I say read back, I mean like having experienced the whole thing.
This is me, I'm the 19th person. You're
Like-
the witch Beatrice?
Having experienced the whole story and then going back and going through it, I'm like, wow, they make it so fucking obvious. The fuck? The bird is trying to drink from my straw.
Do they... Oh, man. Was that the fire alarm low battery sound? No, it was a bird. Without having to doubt any of the 18 you love and respect. That's it exactly. Like in the first game when Cannon-kun was killed in the boiler room, there are plenty of tricks I could have mentioned without hesitation. So as the 19th person existed. And even the very first game, Cannon-kun was killed in the boiler room. One might think he was attacked by Kumasawa-san, who had gone down the boiler room with him. What?
Pulled the straw from my cup.
The bird took your... Are you drinking hot cocoa with a straw?
I sure am.
And that... Okay. Maybe someone who had appeared to be dead earlier was actually faking and ambushed him. Either way, it was a move that forced me to suspect. I did think that earlier. Suspect was one of the 18. However, by simply proposing that a 19th person existed, how cocoa is in anything but a mug is absurd. You don't
It's
buy
in a mug, but it has a straw.
Okay. Besides that crazy thing you were just saying, you don't go to like a corner store or gas station and get hot cocoa in like one of those like cups with like the lids. That's not a mug. Make you think.
It's also in a mug. Mine is in a mug.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about your crazy straw self.
I just put like one of those disposable straws in it.
I can't believe you drink hot cocoa from a straw. It's just wild. About 18 people in the boiler. I don't even know why you would put a straw in a mug. That just looks weird.
Oh my god! Pulled it out of the cup and now it's all over my tablet.
Hot cocoa from a straw. What the hell is a coop?
A coup?
Coop. C-U-U... C... Not C-U-U. C-O-O-P.
I was like, are we doing a coup now? Texas.
In short. Co-op. It's a British shop. Okay.
You British?
I know they said they lived there before. I can at least deny the line of reasoning saying that. If something is impossible for every one of the 18, therefore the culprit is a witch. What? No. Using argument, it's easy to explain. For example, the problematic case that already occurred in this game. Who gave Maria the letter? Even if all 18 people have alibis, I could easily explain everything by saying a 19th person must have visited her and given her that letter. I say that's quite a good move. Now I'd strike back against it. You still have plenty of weak points, even if you are aware of them. Maybe the 18-person attack would be an effective move. To judge the strength of your defense, it may be amusing to contest that point again. Then how would you do it, Demon Butler?
I'm sorry, I'm playing with my bird in this straw.
It's so funny.
I believe it would be appropriate to ambush the piece representing this 19th person that you mentioned.
My hair is sopping and I need to walk
Just use a towel.
If you have a fan too, that would also work. I hope your bird chews it. He's not chewing it so far, he just keeps pulling it out of the cup. And I keep putting it back in the cup.
And you're drinking out of that cup still?
No.
Okay. This 19th person that you mentioned, Battler Sama, you have never met this 19th person yet. Would you please show me proof that this 19th person exists? How naive. Of course I knew you'd probably try that move. My. Please respond to it. I like this guy so far. He's funny. Which is demons
great.
and like. There's no more fitting move for you guys to use. It's one of those. Fucking Phoenix right point again. I need this as a wallpaper. I love it. Devil's proofs. When you try to make some claim to humans like us, it's always a counterattack by telling you to show some proof. Because that's a human move. But I'm fighting with a witch. I'm taking part in a battle with someone who isn't human. You just accepted that she's a witch. Anyway, and some moves exist that can only be used in a game against a witch. There are cheat moves. And that's what this devil's proof is. Because it's impossible to prove. Let's assume that there's a hidden mansion on Rokujima, separate from the Ushimiya family mansion. And that a woman named Beatrice lives there. In order to prove this one must find the mansion and actually bring Beatrice out of it. That's called actual proof in the human world. However, if we follow the rules of the devil's proof, you can't deny that she exists, even if there's no proof that she does. Because it's impossible to prove that something doesn't exist. There's gonna be some red text fucking dunking on him. That's right, I'm finally able to turn the tables using this devil's proofs, which tormented me so much before. Those guys were always trying to force me to accept the existence of the witch with it. After all, it was physically impossible for me to show any proof that witches don't exist and deny Beto's claims. That's why I kept getting hit with the reckless argument that witches do exist. And was unable to counterattack. Dino, you're so down bad for Beatrice.
He's got great taste in women.
I did say I wanted her to step on me in my starting screen today. And that's why I'll spin the chessboard around right now. If I can't disprove the existence of witches, then that means... If I suggest that a 19th human exists, you can't deny that either. In other words, because this problematic and mysterious mistress is craftily hiding herself, it'd be perfectly natural if you never found her, no matter how hard you look. There's two Beatrices.
What the heck is a random thought you've had?
Oh no! Hold on, I'm gonna send you something. Hold on.
Like the straw, buddy? He's just biting the straw. I found a way to keep
I just had like a brain blast.
It all makes sense now. There's two Beatrices.
I don't know about that. Well, yeah, you did. Anyway, hold on. Hold on. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know.
Does that also coincide with your previous thing?
Yeah, I mean, it goes with the... There's two Beatrices. Right?
Okay. I mean, you're close, I suppose.
I'm close?
I'll give you like a 6.5 out of 10.
God damn it, that doesn't answer any questions. It just makes more. I hate you. Okay, I'll think about that more. How that could even work. I just had like the brain blast. Shake my head.
My head.
I guess should I say it out loud for the audience, I guess.
I don't know why you keep hiding it. Like, yeah.
Because Ref Ripley comes in, she'll get mad.
It's all theories, and why would she be mad?
So, I theorized earlier that Beatrice could be his daughter. You said that was kind of close, I think? Or something?
It was kind of close.
And then I just theorized it could be his granddaughter, and you said 6.5 out of 10?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I just try not to spoil anything for people who want to read the story.
Spoiling, because again, you have the same information they do.
I know. Well, technically, I do have one more piece of information because Laggy spoiled it for me.
Spoil it for you. What did he even say?
The red text that I think is coming in this episode about the.
Oh, you mean about the people on the island?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not really that big of a spoiler.
Actually, in some ways, I think it could be. In other words, because this problematic and mysterious mistress is craftily hiding herself, it could be perfectly natural if you found her, no matter how hard you looked. So you can't say your inability to find a 19th person that she doesn't exist. How is that even gonna work? I only had that thought because of the fucking two Beatrices, and now that's more confusing. The whelp is his great cousin's uncle's brother, brother-in-law, cousin. No, there's two Beatrices. Kenzo is a weirdo who sneaks off.
The man goes for a walk at night, and people say he's suspicious for that.
He is. The way he did it was suspicious.
The way he did it.
Yeah, shut up. You want both Wills to step on you? Damn. Okay. Therefore, it's impossible to deny the 19th person's existence. Beto using the devil's proof to make denying her own existence impossible. We're just sitting here having brain blasts, but this time it's become my weapon. If we can get away with this argument, then forget this is the 19th person. This island could be full of people we don't know about. That's true. Good job. Even if there were 10 or 100 of them, she still couldn't deny that they existed. In the last game, the one before that, among the murder scenes that showed up, there were several that were extremely intricate and must have taken a lot of effort to set up. It's really hard to imagine a single culprit setting up all of those. I don't know, some of them could be done just by some people lying. However, if it's not just the 19th person, but 10 or 100 people who are hidden somewhere, that wouldn't be any problem at all. If they all split up the work. Okay, so for everybody who wasn't here earlier when I mentioned it, the church puzzle, the closed room church one, where they was like, they could only have gone in and out of the door, could be very easily solved by like Genji, Rosa, and I think Cannon was involved in saying the door was locked, just lying about the door being locked. So the key could have been in the letter the whole time. They just never locked it. It was unlocked the whole time. Easily solved like that. I think. I need more info, but that could be easily solved by them lying. I was lost in some random group of fields for like an hour. Hot dog? What? What about a hot dog? What?
Dog!
Don't season your hot dogs, people. If they all split up for work, they could handle any job in a short period of time. Of course, doubts would naturally arise whether a large group of people like that sneak around the mansion without being noticed. What? I was watching a video where some dude was talking about his friend seasoning hot dogs. Why would you season your hot dogs? It's a hot dog.
Amalgamation of like 12 different dead animals.
Just accept what it is and put some ketchup and mustard on that.
Ketchup?
Yeah, you don't put ketchup on your hot dogs?
Chili and mustard is all I put on my hot dog.
Yo, now listen, a good chili cheese dog's hard to pass up.
Cheese.
Honestly, I'm about to go get one
ketchup.
today. After I'm done reading this, I'm gonna go get a chili cheese dog now.
After we're done reading this, I'm taking a nap. Holy fuck.
We'll probably be done soon, honestly.
I'm so
Of
fucking
course,
tired.
doubts were naturally arise. I'm tired today, too. As to whether a large group of people that could sneak around the mansion without being noticed. But those are all settled by the devil's proof. Plus, this is kind of like he's dragging on some of these conversations. I can't do this today. Can't deny that even 100 people were just because they weren't seen or noticed. Even though I'm saying it myself, it's such a stupid argument that it makes me want to throw up. However, because it's such a dirty move, it's a perfect one to use against a witch. Well, this is just my imagination. But what about the 100 suspicious men wearing goat masks? That Beatrice being his granddaughter thing won't make sense in the long run, though. It causes too many questions.
Name one question.
Like, if there's 18 people on the island, okay? Or no more than 18. Then who the fuck is she?
It all makes sense now. She was actually Battler's sister.
Okay. Fuck you. Okay, I don't know. What about 100 suspicious men wearing goat masks were hiding in the shadows? Something like that's worse than laughable. Almost like they're cockroaches. If you see one, it means there's 100 more hiding somewhere. Well, I do think it's a ridiculous argument that's horribly twisted. If my opponent were human, I'm sure they'd yell at me like I was out of my mind. But my opponent is a witch. You keep saying that she's a witch, but you keep denying she's a witch at the same time.
He's saying in the meta world she's a witch, but he's denying that a witch did the murders.
Okay, so the metaverse, he's completely accepted metaverse. Beatrice is a witch. She got her VR headset on. She's playing character of a witch.
You literally can't. I mean, metaverse is not reality, so yeah.
And after that kind of competition we're having, isn't it? I thought I could buy land in it, though. Use any kind of reckless argument to explain it, using humans then deny the witch. Fuck you mean, don't season them. Don't season your hot dogs. I looked at that again. Don't season your hot dogs. It's weird. Anyway, with this move,
I looked at that again.
I won't have any doubt of the 18 who are close to me again. I won't suffer a defeat like last time again. Battler, this is just some circle logic. I don't know why you won't suspect any of the 18.
He doesn't want to suspect his family or friends.
Okay, well I do. You will learn from your previous defeat. That is good. It's no surprise that you've become so devious now that you're in your third game. Don't season your wieners! You first. I guess maybe if it's like kibasi or something. Maybe season that. You first straighten your own defense. It hurts. Quit hitting me! Quit it! It hurts! Why are you being so mean? Truly a solid first step. Quite a spectacular move, I would say. Season my dogs? You telling me you season your hot dogs? What seasoning do you use? I'm interested now. This is important. You season your hot dogs? What do you season them with?
What do you season them with?
This is important now. If you're gonna season your hot dogs, it better not be something weird. Salt and pepper. I'm still white.
Whoa.
Holy shit. I just don't think you should season it's a hot dog. You've already given up on a meal at that point. You just
Does
want
hot sauce count as seasoning?
No.
Okay, well then
It's
never
like
mind.
it's like ketchup and it's like putting ketchup.
It's a condiment.
Yeah. That's the word I was looking for. Mayonnaise
Yeah.
is a C-tier condiment at best. Just saying it. Mayonnaise, C-tier condiment at best.
I don't like mayonnaise.
It's only good if you smother it with something else. There's still a few tricks that can left I can't resolve, like the actual number of master keys, no matter how many humans I add. Still, it isn't a bad first step for the time being. Battler-sama, your trump card is the important piece called the 19th person. You countered my move of asking where the proof was by using the devil's proof. A good skirmish. Although I must apologize for making a move by myself when my lady isn't here. I find that I am too growing slightly interested. I wonder if you will allow me to make yet another move on my lady's behalf. Let's have it. I've got no shortage of opponents, be they witches or demons. This move you presented called the Devil's Proof? It's a specialty of us demons, but there are also various other moves available to us. Do you know what a move called Hempel's Raven? That sounds familiar.
Yep.
Hempel's Raven? What are you talking about? I need to actually read the book that mentions all the fucking mystery novel things if I'm going to continue reading this.
Yeah, honestly.
Because I can't remember the names of them all, is the problem. Hold on, let me look up what that is real quick.
It's basically just a reverse Uno on Devil's Proof. So he's
The Raven
reverse
Paradox
Unoing
also
his
knows-
reverse Uno.
Report indoor authority. Paradox is asking question. What constitutes evidence for the truth of a statement? Okay, so Proposition 1 This illogical conclusion is reached through a logical series of statements. Proposition 1, all ravens are black. Proposition 2, all non-black things are non-ravens. Evidence 1, the raven is black. Evidence 2, the apple is not black and not a raven. Huh. Okay, I can see how this can fuck that up. So it's just like what constitutes as truth.
Yeah.
This is
He's
some
reverse
deep...
Unoing the reverse Uno.
This is some deep shit. Hold on. Proposed resolutions. Okay. Negative instances having no influence. Equivalence condition. Okay. This is some complicated mystery novel shit they're going at right now. He did his research. Just in, and then in raging laugh I heard so many times started echoing. The room was filled with dazzling golden butterflies, and in the center of that whirlwind, the golden bitch appeared. If it isn't my lady, good morning. I thought you might be doing something interesting while I was away. Hempel's raven, was it? Such a familiar old move, I could almost laugh. To think the day has come when I get to show it off to Battler. It's a classic move to use against the Devil's Proof. Renove? It's Renove, right?
Renove.
Yeah, I will make this move. That sounds kinda... Okay, I'm trying to think what country it sounds like it's from. Do not get in the way of my fun. So you finally showing up, you guffawing witch. I like that. Actually, you're laughing like a freak just as usual. This guy was talking behind your back just now, telling me how undignified you look when you do that. Right? How rude. Is that true? Nonsense. Why would I speak such gossip about my lady, with whom I regard with such sincere respect? I can't believe it. You'd say something so shameless. Doesn't look like we're getting along well together. Cackle, cackle. Well, that is fine. Let us return to the point at hand. Hempel's raven is used to show actual proof using the contrapositive. I can't speak. In other words, it is a move like this. What must you do to prove that ravens are black? Huh? What are you talking about? Prove that ravens are black? I just read this. What do you just have to catch a raven and check to see if it's black? But what if a raven is born white? Does that make it not a raven? That's right. You must simply prove that a raven equals black. Do you see that if you instead prove that birds that aren't black equal not ravens, you would reach the same argument? If you go throughout the world, examine all birds that are not ravens and prove that none of them are black, then as a result, you claim that therefore black birds are ravens. This is called an argument by the contrapositive. Is that too difficult for you? Yeah, no kidding. I've got no idea what you're saying. Battler-sama, what about this example? Let's say you have two boxes and one of them is a winner and with a cookie inside. Of course, the other one is a loser and is empty. For example, here are two boxes where one has a cookie inside and means you win, while the other is empty and means you lose. He already said that. At this moment, it has a cookie inside equals you win, which implies that you do not win equals it had no cookie inside. When such a relationship exists, the latter is called a contrapositive. When if an A then B is true, then if not B then A is also true. Well that's obvious. They're just fucking repeating the same thing over and over again. If the one who you guessed was the loser, then you'd automatically know that the other one was the winner. In other words, if you choose the box at random, whether it's a winner or a loser, you'll be able to figure out which box has the cookie in it after your first move. That is correct. The cookie is in the box you open, then the devil's proof is it's satisfied. You can directly prove that this box is the winner equals this box has a cookie in it. However, if the box you open is empty, then reverse Hempel's raven is satisfied. In other words, this box does not have the cookie in it equals this box isn't the winner. And as long as we accept the premise that there are no more than two boxes, the contrapositive shows that the other box is automatically the winner. Welcome back! Well, I think I'm starting to see your reasoning. Only poison can stop poison, and only twisted logic can stop twisted logic. Then what? How does that overturn my claim that because there's definitely a 19th human on this island, even if all 18 people have alibis, I still won't accept it to the witches. I don't want to step on you, Dino. I'm sorry. Very well. I will teach you about my move. First of all, you are stating that the culprit is not among the 18 equals the culprit is a 19th person. Anyway, seizing your dogs. No, it's a hot dog. You've already given up on something at that point.
Put the salt on your toes.
Put the salt on your dogs. Cackle, cackle. So if you only use the contrapositive, it ends up like this. In short, the culprit is not a 19th person equals the culprit is one of the 18. Huh? What do you mean? Only that I've countered your move. Let's try and keep things simple. Okay. I'm not gonna say they're high quality hot dogs, but they're a higher quality than our hot dogs probably. But to call a hot dog high quality is like already like pushing it in any country. Let's be real. Let's not glaze hot dogs in other countries too badly. Only that I've countered your move. Let's try to keep things simple. Run over or explain. It seems you made things easy enough for Battler to understand with your cookie in a box analogy. Then forgive my presumption. Allow me to explain my earlier example once more. Your hairdryer works, your mom plugged it in, turned it on, didn't explode, but didn't it smoke earlier?
Yeah, I feel like you should throw that away and just try again with a different one.
Just cut your losses. We put mashed potatoes on it? What?
Huh?
The hot dogs or the hairdryer?
Yeah. Either way, that's weird.
I mean, sausages. If we're going like in that family of food, you can put. I can see like some sort of sausage having something like mashed potatoes.
Okay, I disagree. I don't think hot dogs are sausages. I think they're on the same level as Spam.
Oh, you think it's like imitation sausage?
Yeah, that shit's not real.
See, but then you can put things like sauerkraut on like sausages. I mean, if we're going into the presumption that hot dogs are sausages, I'd say maybe in other countries it might be considered more of a sausage.
I live in America, and I know that the thing that they sell at the grocery store or at Sheetz or whatever,
no, American,
that's not real meat.
The American ones are not sausages, but we can make the argument that some other countries are because of the ingredients they use.
You've seen that McDonald's documentary, The Pink Paste? Yeah, that's what hot dogs are.
They also used horse meat for a while.
In hot dogs, there's horse meat, cow meat, pig meat, donkey meat. There's all kinds of giraffe. There's no telling what's in a hot dog.
It's just the parts we don't normally want to eat ground up.
They found something on the side of the road and said, "This looks like meat. We can probably put this in a hot dog."
There's people that actually eat roadkill.
I know.
Allow me to repeat my earlier story about the 2 treasure boxes. Hot dogs are roadkill. Not all hot dogs.
Are you sure about that?
No, but I'm gonna believe that. One that has a cookie in it. Especially American ones are not roadkill. They're just ground up parts we don't want to eat. It's different.
No,
it's different.
That's coke. They're roadkill.
In this situation, you have an 18-person box and a 19-person box. They're really explaining this theory too long. So the cookie represents the culprit. Ow. Battler Sama, let's say you open the 18th-person box. Because the cookie is not there, you have paradoxically proven that therefore the cookie is the 19th-person box. That lets us make an even more paradoxical claim. In other words, if it was the first shown that the 19th-person box was empty, yeah, it was a bear. It would prove at the same time that the cookie is in the 18-person box. Battler Sama played this move in order to avoid having to doubt any of the 18. But it's now been used to prepare an 18-person attack. Ugh. What the hell?
Fucking God.
Cackle, 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 cackle. If I go first and prove that the inside of the 19-person box is empty, you will automatically have to accept that the cookie is in the 18-person box. Okay, but what if it's not an 18-person box or a 19-person box? All I've done is say that the other way around, yes? Used to be your grandma's, and when she dried my hair, if it got too hot, it would stop working? What the? Sounds dangerous.
Get a hair dryer.
So that move I was confident in was actually a double-edged sword. I don't think I haven't used a hairdryer in years.
You have a box? Send you one, dude. They're like $20 on Amazon.
It's dangerous. I take risks. That's right. As soon as you played that move and attempted to explain everything with a 19th person, you already taken a risk that you might be forced to accept that the culprit is one of the 18. So you like magic? You're a gambling man? You doing magic? You're gambling? I see. Oh, the music's getting really intense. Hempel's Raven. So this is a countering technique. Wait, if I really think about it, this counter is a real disadvantageous for me. This isn't a cookie we're talking about. If I imagine that the loser treasure chest actually has a bomb in it, it gets even clearer. And there aren't just 2 treasure chests, but 18 plus 1 for the 19th person. If you think about it, it has a total of 19 boxes. It gets an even easier picture. First off, one of the premises of the human culprit theory is that the bomb will definitely be one of these boxes. I didn't want to place the bomb in the boxes for any of the 18, so I used Devil's Proof. I created the 19th person so I could throw the bomb in there. That much was fine. But then Beto struck back. Holy shit, we're almost 3 hours in and nothing has happened. Now if the contents of the 19th box are empty, that automatically mean that the bomb... I mean, I did get some information, actually, from, like, putting together things. So at least that was... the other 18 boxes. If I could examine what's inside all 18 of those boxes, then as long as I can show what the bomb isn't in any of them, I'll be able to safely show that the 18 are innocent. If that were possible, I'd have nothing to fear. However, in reality, that'd be almost impossible. Absolutely impossible. Mr. Stream Elements, if that's your real name. The police wouldn't come here in this typhoon. We don't have access to scientific investigations or experts or anything. In short, we can't prove anything decisively. It would be impossible for me to find any proof other than simply gulping down whatever alibis each of the 18 give. That means I personally have to prove their innocence, and I have to do it perfectly. Like by staying with them the whole time, never letting them out of my sight for a second. By doing that, I could probably be sure that the person's innocent. Sure, that bomb isn't in their box. However, in practical terms, that would be impossible. In other words, I'd have to expend an incredible effort just to check the contents of one box. There are 18 of them. In other words, unless I bound all 18 chains and watched over them, it would be impossible to prove that all 18 of them have empty boxes. However, Beto only has to open one box, the 19th person box, and show that it's empty to prove that the bomb's in one of the other 18 boxes. Furthermore, there's no need for her to show which of the 18 boxes had the bomb. Oh, I could just imagine the Spiral Battler's gonna be going down soon. I've got 18 times more work to do to explain my pet theory than Beatrice does hers. Do security cameras exist yet? Yeah, they would exist in the 80s, but they also gotta remember, like, it's an old man who owns this house, essentially.
He owns this island.
Yeah, they're on an isolated island. When a devil's proof exists in the world, it takes a vast amount of effort to argue against it, and there are many cases in which it's impossible to do because of the situation. However, Hempel's Raven turns that problem around and makes it impossible to prove things easily. By using Hempel's Raven, various reckless arguments become possible to prove true or false. I like that they're using actual real-life fucking things, though. We gotta use this more often in real life, like people talking to other people.
See, Rukishi does this a lot in, like, everything he's ever written.
For example, let us say I make the proposition all humans except me equal foolish. Normally, I would have to examine all humanity except myself and show that they are all foolish. However, in reality, it would be impossible to investigate billions of people. It's just the same sort of effort you need to open all 18 boxes. Cackle, cackle. However, by using Hempel's Raven, the contrapositive of that proposition would change into this. If you use the phrase spin the chessboard around on the claim that all humans except me equal foolish, you would have to do nothing more than prove that not foolish equals me. And that what you think that means. Cackle, cackle. As soon as I know the fact that I am wise, I will be able to show an instant that every one of the billions of people in the human race is foolish. No! That causes a new set of problems, but okay. In less than a second, I could finish proving that entire human race is more foolish than me. It truly is the strongest and fastest QED in the world. Hey, Beatrice, you come here often? This is Hempel's Raven. What a ridiculous argument. It is a very convenient move. Not only demons, but gods also use it. When they propose that the blessed equals the servants of a god. Unleash the nose? Okay. There you go, for I am unleashed. With my mustache as a combo? There you go. Human is not a servant of God equal, he must be blessed. So in order to prove that servants of gods are blessed with divine protection, they only have to bring ill fortune down upon those who don't receive such protection. So by bringing misfortune upon those who don't believe in them, they prove their blessedness. Yep, hairy tentacles. What is that nemesis? I don't like that. I don't remember that emote. Oh no, I don't like that.
Oh no.
I don't like it. An enormous cost is required to give humans happiness. However, it takes a lot less to bring human misfortune. Cackle, 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 cackle. For you missed me absolutely spiraling earlier. So by the joy of using Hempel's Raven, gods are actually giving believers the joy of divine protection for cheap. You demon. It's a demon's argument. That's crazy. Nemi wore and Nemi stepped on a Lego barefoot. Damn. Seems we've gone off topic. Let's get back to the point. The move for my counterattack is complete. And now, in response to your claim of the 19th person as the culprit, therefore the 18 innocent and the witch doesn't exist. I'm gonna say he stepped on a Lego. Who's Nemi? He's one of the main enemies in Resident Evil 3.
Nemi.
Nemesis, yes. He's the main nemesis in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Wow.
If I can prove
such
that
an original name.
19th person, we can be sure the culprit is either one of the 18 or a witch. Right? What's she about to do? For a while, I just stood there shocked, completely forgetting to close my mouth. Just when I thought I'd countered one of their strong points, their counterattack had been this reckless argument that I couldn't possibly have anticipated.
I think this is...
Is this going to be impossible after all? To continue denying the witch on the island with no more than 18 people? And still believe in the innocence of those 18 people? Is that just a delusion? Am I just trying to escape reality?
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. Not yet. Don't give up on this desperate struggle yet. Who cares about whoever's Raven? They're just trying to confuse me by bringing up weird bits of trivia. I used the devil's proof. Don't feel uncertain about something you've used once.
He's coping.
Believe in the spear you've drawn, and then forcefully gouge it in. Damn. He's gone copium right now. We're still in the opening part of the game. Do you plan to keep thinking on this level? Oh shit. Here we go. Wait a sec. I want to be sure. I'll admit I talked about a 19th person to keep it simple. What if we're gonna use the devil's proof to raise the number of people above 18? Then we have no way of knowing if there are 10 people, 100 people, or an indeterminate number of people. There's always one more than you assume. Get it? They countered my twisted logic with something even more twisted. So the only thing that could counter that would be even crazier twisted logic. What? I see. Even if I somehow prove an alibi for the 19th person, as soon as I do, you will end up with a 20th person and claim that they are a culprit. By repeating this endlessly, you would make it so that I kept searching for their alibis for all eternity. I see. Cackle, cackle. Just like a demon king summoning a plague of locusts. I wouldn't expect anything less from Kinzo's grandchild. Looks like you have been gifted with a talent in summoning. In short, it's impossible to always prove an alibi for each person X outside of the first 18. How did you like that, Beto? Now that I know we're having a battle with twisted logic, I won't lose. She's about to drop a fucking bomb. I know it. Cackle, 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 cackle. I'm waiting for it. How foolish. Who do you think I am? She's about to fuck his whole day up. This is what she does. I am the endless witch. The thought that you could challenge me endlessly is just absurd. Endless control means that I'm able to kill endlessly. When your 19th person folds, you will summon a 20th. And when your 20th person folds, you will summon a 21st. And when your 21st person folds and your 22nd person folds, you will summon a 23rd person, the 34th person. Okay, I'm not reading all that. Did you just think that you have me at your mercy for all eternity? I laugh at infinite regress. The infinite doesn't work against me. Uh-oh. The music stopped. She's about to do it. Well, then how many will you kill my endless? Just try and show me. Oh, shit.
There are no more than 18 people on the island.
I have the power to speak the truth in red. Ooh, that was in red, too. Here it comes. When I speak in red, it will contain absolutely no illusions. If I say once in red that there are no more than 100 people on this island, you will no longer be permitted to create 101st person. Cackle, cackle. See, Battler? What truth should I tell in red this time? Where should I strike for the kill and force you into hopelessness? Cackle, cackle, cackle. Come, show me your usual frightened face. Ah, man, this bitch is about to do it. Do it. Do it. What? Why are you laughing? I wonder what kind of creepy look I had on my face as I laughed right then. That red sure is scary. Every time it jumps out, I'm driven into the depths of hopelessness. But I've already realized something. There's no need to be overly afraid of the red. You brought out your trump card again. So, how and for what will Beatrice use red for this time? Huh? What do you mean by that? Hold on, I got a message. Let me see what it is. It is not important. Okay. Suddenly looking so relaxed. Okay, go enjoy your walk. Sorry, but I was waiting for you to take out the blood red treasured sword of yours. Let's see, what were you became in red this time? You aren't going to say the culprit was one of those 18 people, are you? Be careful, since that means self-destruction for you, right? That'd be the same as throwing away your own witch's theory to yourself. A complete resignation. That's right. The red wasn't always a weapon that worked in Beto's favor alone. It was the other way around. If she used it in the wrong way, it was dangerous enough that she could bring about her own death. If she used it carelessly and said something that ended up denying herself, that'd be exactly the same as self-destruction. Of course, it'd be sad and difficult for me to accept that you had told me the red one of the 18 was the culprit. No matter who the culprit actually was, I definitely have to deal with some tough emotions. But before that, it would mean your defeat. Saying in red that the culprit is a human is the equivalent to your proclamation of resignation. If you wanted us to finish each other off in the simultaneous clash, I'd say that's a pretty interesting move. However, in this particular battle, will end my victory. Beatrice's red was her true trump card. When that person speaks in red, it definitely is the truth, and no matter amount of proof or counter arguments can change that. Until now, she was that's too severely wound to me, and each time the tiny foundation supporting my heart gets split in half. However, she uses it carelessly, then I'll also glean a little information about the truth. I just had a thought. In this last game, I used that to my advantage, especially during the chapel's closed room trick, and almost completely got her boxed in at one point. But she was pretty sly herself. She learned from experience, and since then, she started using discretion in the timing of her red. This feeling of tension was almost literally like a battle with real swords. This is a high-level intellectual battle. No, not an intellectual battle. This really is twisted logic. This was the world's craziest and worst battle of twisted logic. Okay, now it's time to hear your plan. That's right. To use Hempel's Ravens first, you have to confirm in red how many humans there are, other than the 18. And after that, if you proclaim in red that none of the people in this group are the culprit, that's right, that might be a fatal wound to me. Surprised that you no longer have even an atom of fear for the red, which once terrified you so much. You're quite resilient. Try taking out the treasure sword, that trump card of yours. This time you might be able to make me surrender with a single stroke, right? Cackle, cackle, cackle. Interesting. I wouldn't have it any other way. Agitate her. Challenge her. Drive her into a corner and make her speak in red. What to say? Hempel's Ravens, which is the counter argument to Devil's Proof. It's like, I'm not explaining Hempel's Ravens again. He just went over it like 60 times.
If it's a black bird, then it's probably a raven. Therefore, if it's not black, it's not a raven.
So it's like, if box A has a cookie and box B doesn't have a cookie, if you open a box and it doesn't have a cookie, it's not box A. And vice versa.
Is it not similar to, the prisoner's dilemma?
Kinda, I think. I don't know. Of course her red's always wiping out my rays of hope. It's a famous paradox in the philosophy of science.
Yeah.
Science, yeah. We'll talk about it from like a mystery novel perspective though.
There's a lot of that in this.
But don't be afraid of that. My raven tattoo is based on it. Oh, that's cool. That's actually a cool tattoo. I knew I heard about it before, but I've never actually seen somebody use it. Ugh. On this island overcome with falsehoods and illusions, the only thing I can trust is the information she speaks in red. It's my only way across the chasm of hell. Just a single tightrope. Her merciless blood-red blade is the only way I can survive. This isn't just walking on a tightrope. It's like literally walking on the edge of a blade. Of course I'm afraid. Because my victory condition is the denial of witches. I hate that that's still the victory condition.
By the way, if you haven't, Flip, you should probably play the 999 trilogy. I feel like you would really like that.
That's the one I bought the one day, right? 'Cause I think I own that. It's the what's it called?
It has 999, Zero Escape.
Yeah, the Zero Escape.
Virtue's Last Reward.
I bought that on sale. I can play that. I might play that after Umineko, maybe.
It's got the same kind of vibes where they throw a lot of sciencey terms at you.
I like that he keeps throwing all the mystery novel terms, because he hasn't broken any of the mystery novel rules yet, actually. Yet. I
don't think he ever breaks any of them.
He keeps through all the rules? That's cool. Of course I'm afraid. And Battler's considered a detective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You start with non-controversial assumptions. If two statements are logically equivalent, then they entail the same things in two. If a piece of evidence confirms a hypothesis, it confirms all logically equivalent hypothesis. Yeah, that causes some issues in itself, though. Like saying all black birds are ravens. That's a fucking illogical conclusion.
What do you mean?
all black birds cannot be ravens. Also, if there's a white raven, it's still a raven. And just because it's not black doesn't mean it's not a raven. Like, if it's an albino raven and turns out to be fucking white, that doesn't make it any less raven. Just because it's not black.
Albino ravens don't exist.
That's a different species. That's albino raven. That's a different species. So if all ravens are black, all non-black things are non-ravens. That causes so many issues, yeah.
That's why it's a paradox.
You got a paradox to solve another paradox, which will in itself cause a paradox. Those are logically equivalent statements. The culprit must be human. But I didn't want to search for a culprit amid the 18. I do think the culprit is human. I will say that definitively. I think the person who murders everyone is human.
Nah, I think you're wrong.
But I didn't want to search for a culprit among the 18. In fact, I am getting closer and closer to thinking it's a very sad story and I don't want to finish it anymore.
I don't want to finish it anymore. Oh no.
Because I don't want to do this no more. Because I'm actually really sad now.
I've been sad, and I think it was like 2 years ago I finished this, and I'm still broken up about it. The ending still breaks my heart.
Those are the two statements, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at with my thinking right now about Beatrice. And I want to see how close I am to it. Because they're to explain why she's obsessed with Battler as well. And this is as close as I'm coming, I think, to having any theory that I think might have some logic to it. Okay. So it still goes with my Canon and Shannon being the same person, okay? But I think Canon, Shannon, and Beatrice are the same person. And Shannon is like, maybe Kenzo's granddaughter or some shit. Or it's like, yeah. And I think that was formed from Kenzo doing some shady shit. I still don't know what Kenzo did, and I'm hoping I'm wrong on what I think he might have did. But that's a whole different discussion. They mentioned in her obsession with Beatrice's obsession with Battler comes from him telling Shannon that he'd be back. Maybe she at one point really liked Battler, and then she started a relationship with George. And like somewhere along all this like killing and everything, still has feelings for Battler, which is why she's willing to do this game with Battler or some shit. Or something like that. And yeah. Something like that along those lines. And she's also faking being a witch, which would also explain like situations like what was that? Natsuri's room, where she had the scorpion charm on her door. I think Natsuri was gonna be killed, but she noticed the scorpion charm on the door, knew it would break the witch persona, or like the witch story, thus didn't kill Natsuri. But it doesn't explain why she would. But Kenzo already being dead explains why Kenzo's door didn't work for that story, because it's the it was okay. Because she wouldn't have to worry about killing him. He would already be dead. And, like... But it doesn't explain what Kenzo is. But still, I think there's something to that. I think...
3.9.
3.9? It's gotten worse! It's gotten worse! Okay. Does the Shannon and the Shannon and Canon being the same person, the percentage on that?
7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, the Beatrice, Shannon, and Canon being the same person, percentage on that?
5.5.
Okay, there is something to it. There's something to it. It's not a complete zero. Okay. Shannon and Battler. Shannon having feelings for Battler. How about that?
Decline to answer.
Ah, shit. There's something to that one.
No, not necessarily. It just means I can't really... I don't know.
Okay. 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 Fuck. Okay, and then before show, still talking about the paradox. The paradox becomes one that's taking the second assumption that the evidence confirms the statements about the logical equivalency statements. Then does that mean we can learn stuff about ravens by studying a white shoe, for example? Because a white shoe is a non-black, non-raven.
To that I say devil's proof, bitch.
That's what made me stick with Reese's position, since I had to claim both that couldn't be a witch and couldn't be one of the 18.
Just bring me a white raven.
I only thought that because I don't even know why they brought up Battler saying anything to Shannon at all. That's just weird.
Why did they bring up the Chunibyo thing?
I think that's just bad writing at that point, actually.
It's not bad writing, it's just Rikishi rambling, so you can get to know the characters more.
I'm trying here. I'm trying.
Some of these things are just, oh, this is more about the character, and then the other things are like this.
It does explain what kind of person Battler is. I get what you're saying. He's the kind of person who'd say cringe things like, I'll come back on my white horse. Okay. Fuck. Okay, wait, what's Cannon's real name? Because I remember we saw that. We got told Cannon...
real name, but I can't... It hasn't been said in the story yet.
I thought they said that already. Didn't they say that?
They did not say his real name yet.
Okay, and then... Shannon's real name, Sayo? Sayo?
Yeah, Sayo.
Okay.
He does have a real name, though.
Okay.
Cannon
I don't
does.
like that. I don't like that Cannon has a real name. It fucks with my theory. I was able to understand that there's... So that's where she hit me, leaving me tattered and defeated. But that's okay. Let her hit me. Let her attack. I'm spiraling right now. Someone said once in an old sword fighting movie that a good fortress has one and only one intentional weak point. The enemy would gather there. They would be lured there. And that would be where the actual battle took place. As long as I understand my weak points, and as long as she wanted to attack those weak points, it was as if they were luring her into launching an attack there. Gauge the distance between us with care, retreating step by step. Make them move forward. Okay, I do think someone is faking being the witch. Because there is mention of... No one's faking?
No one's faking.
So you confirm there's a witch? What the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah, there is a witch.
No.
I don't know what to tell you.
I refuse. That's the whole point of the story. You can't just hit me with there's a witch.
There is a witch.
Fuck you. The more she recklessly flourished that red, the more chances I would get the straight back. Don't be afraid of the red. Keep her cornered so that she'll have no choice but to refute me with the red. No matter how oppressively she speaks in red. That's right, that red itself is the same as fresh blood leaking. I need more red. Give me more red. I need your reds. So, I want more reds. It will help me solve it. First of all, why don't you tell me how many people are on this island total? If you don't, you truly can't cut me up. How surprising that this could be a desperate and yet this difficult. One cannot make light of someone putting their life on the line, no matter what the era. It's no surprise you're Kenzo's grandchild. The more cornered you are, the bolder you become. Renove. What? Cleared his throat. It appears to be a stalemate. That black tea I worked so hard to make is getting cold, my lady. Renove, who was supposed to be her ally, roguishly rushed her into making her next move. Beto probably thought she'd manage to smile back and appear confident, but she couldn't hide the sweat building up on her forehead. By now, she had completely lost the confident feeling that had allowed her to turn her nose up at her worthless opponent nose mentioned. Of course, she probably wouldn't be cornered by something like this. She'd just be cautious. Until now, I've been inexperienced. I didn't know how to fight, and it was strong enough to be her opponent. However, now that we've reached the third game, she realized that I'm starting to become more skilled. And she's growing more cautious, thinking her every move over carefully. Sure, that's fine, Beatrice. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you happy now? Now it's starting to get interesting, huh? Cackle, cackle, cackle. Battler. Oh, here it comes. She's about to drop the bomb, or this isn't getting us anywhere. Can somebody do something? We should get to the heart of the matter and go on with the usual. Oh, the usual, you say? Then by all means, if I don't hear you say it, I guess I won't feel like starting. The first move is mine. Here I go, Beto. Here, I repeat it. On this island, there are only 18 people. If I hear you say this in red, I'll have no choice but to suspect one of the 18. I won't be able to say a 19th person did it, so all the doors will be closed to me. However, I believe the culprit definitely isn't one of the 18. There's no way one of those 18 commit such brutal murders. I'll say it again. Repeat it. On this island, there are only 18 people. I refuse. I won't say why. Whew. I voted what would have been the worst red for me. If she repeated that, I'd be faced with those two worst choices of accepting the witch or suspecting one of the 18. Like last time, all over again. But Ato hadn't proclaimed my ultimate and greatest weakness in red. She refused to repeat it even though there was no reason for her not to strike, even though it was a weakness she should have been drooling at. So she didn't say it yet?
Nope. She did not say that there are only 18 people on the island.
So he could still keep going with his stupid 19th person thing.
Yep.
She hadn't sliced me up with red with that move, which could be as good as forking a rook with the king. This is a big sign of my advantage. That's right. Oh, she's just building him up so she can knock him down harder. What a bitch. The culprit isn't one of the 18. I won't suspect anyone. And since the culprit isn't a witch either, it means a 19th person exists on the island. And that's you. A person who has grandfather's mistress of 30 years, has been secretly living in hidden mansion in a forest for a long, long time. The human Beatrice. That's right. You aren't a witch or anything like it. You're just a human who's been living on this island and hiding for several decades. Cackle, cackle. Cackle, 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 cackle. Did you just call me the endless witch who has lived for over 1,000 years a human? Cackle, 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 cackle. For a while, Beatrice continued to laugh unpleasantly and gloatingly, or maybe spitefully. Are you ready? I'll keep going. How the hell would they animate this?
That's what I was saying. Like, you can't animate the fucking...
The red text is such a big important part of the story. How the hell would you put that into an animation?
Yeah.
Again, repeat it. There are 19 people or more on this island. Beatrice. Beatrice fell silent once again. She'd probably remain extremely cautious as long as confirming the number of humans on this island might give her some large disadvantage, depending on the situation. The red had already become a foothold for my counterattacks. Now that we know this, it makes the red very risky for the witch. But if she couldn't repeat this, her Hempel's Raven wouldn't be effective. To break my devil's proof, she would need to settle the existence and number of people outside of the 18 in red. That's right. She couldn't break the existence of a 19th person unless she used red. I've closed Beto in, giving her no choice but to speak in red.
Nice.
There really
call
is
her by her nickname.
A way to fight. He is, I think Battler has slowly become, like, he started calling her by her nickname, and I feel like he's actually been nicer to her as the story's going on, too. He's less aggressive with her. He's, like, more actually playing a game now. Like, it's less he's fighting for his life and more he's fighting a game now. Is what it feels like. Am I crazy for thinking that?
Pretty accurate.
It's okay to refuse. If you can't say it in red, that means there's a total of 18 plus X people on this island. That X is a pretty massive piece to lose on your first move, right? After all, from now on, all the tricks that were impossible for the 18 can be explained with a human X who isn't in that group. Its huge piece can break open all the rooms you said were closed because everyone had an alibi. It was just how a chess bishop can cut a thin line through enemy forces as long as there's a slight gap. It could only be effectively used on squares of the same color, but was very good at controlling territory on the board. It looked like Beto also noticed her current plight. She couldn't just let such an important piece go, especially that this close to the beginning of the game. If she pulled out her red treasured sword, it wouldn't be that difficult to save herself from this. But Beto was completely aware that I was expecting it. She was afraid that a careless red truth might end up strangling her own neck. Because in the first place, a witch is something that ought to be denied in red. Believe. Don't doubt. Witches don't exist! Something like that couldn't exist in this world. They only exist in the valleys between truths. They have a fragile existence curled up in these cracks, frantically trying to protect themselves from the brutal winds of truth. And they can only barely exist like a mirage by surviving on falsehoods and illusions. In other words, the red which only witches can use is the reality that might easily deny their very being. That's such a statement. The more they brandish their red words, the more they begin to lose bit by bit that crack in truth inside they're kicking their door. That's why they don't want to use the red words and carelessly lose the crack in the truth, which is based on the fuzzy information. I feel really stupid for the battler thing earlier I said about the white horse. Because the way you pointed that out, I'm like, fuck, you're right. That could just be them setting up Battler's character. I'm mad
look
now.
at what he's doing right now.
Or illusions,
He's
in other
denying
words.
witches while being cringe.
That because they understand that they're gradually being cornered. Of course, that bastard would never admit it. Because if she did, it'd be the same as admitting that she's something that can't exist in this world, like an imaginary number. Don't be afraid. Stay strong. I know that if she's the one who's really been pierced to the bone, after all, her red treasured sword can't be used without a lot of preparation. She's about to fuck his day up here in like a minute. I just see it coming. He's thinking too highly right now. What's wrong? I'll say it again. Repeat it. There are 19 people or more on this island. I refuse. At the end of Beto's worrying, she took a single deep breath and quietly announced her refusal. I thought she simply said, I refuse. I thought she'd use it. But Beto refused to speak in red, even though it would cost her victory in the opening part of the game. You refused? Which means from now on, I can create as many fictional characters X outside of the 18 as I want. Do as you wish. I refuse to repeat what you have told me. Isn't that enough for now? The reason for my refusal is... No, I won't tell you yet. Anyway, you'll know soon enough. You know what I think she's going to do to really fuck with him? She's gonna set up a situation where it's gonna have to be one of the 18 people if it's not a 19th person. Like, she's gonna make it so concrete that it has to be one of the people if it's not a 19th person. That Battler refusing to believe it's one of the 18 people is gonna fuck him up when she says something like there's no more than 18 people on this island.
So there are minor victories that Battler has.
Yeah, but I think she's really gonna tear him down. That's why she's saving it. She's saving it for a moment where it's really gonna fuck his day up. Where he'll really spiral. He's gonna reach new highs with this information. Be like, well, it has to be the 19th person. And she's gonna strike him down with the red text. That's gonna make him so low. I'm just waiting for it. Beatrice is letting this go too easily. Choosing not to use red the other way of using it. You called it my red treasured sword. A pleasant metaphor. I will use it too. A treasured sword is at its best when it's sheathed. In fact, there are times it can be instilled even more feel because it's sheathed. That's right. As I fight, I always have to keep in mind whether you might spin everything around and you with those red words. It's some pretty serious pressure. And there are also times when you make things pretty tough by refusing to repeat it after me. Those times I can't tell if you repeat my guesses or my guess was right. Or if you're just misleading me by letting me flounder about. flounder about. I actually really like the addition of the red, because it creates a lot of situations. Even if she doesn't say it, it doesn't mean it's not a red truth. It just means she doesn't want to say the red truth to mess with Battler.
Yeah.
I do really like that. If you think about it that way, yeah. It's a sheathed treasure sword. So what? If I'm going to push you off a cliff anyway, best to let you climb a bit higher first. Why do cliffs keep getting mentioned so much today? Laggy mentioned cliffs earlier, and now she's talking about cliffs. We still have barely begun.
Being a dick.
Much is left to come. I'll resign from this challenge. Go ahead and get drunk on your faint victory for now. But only for now. Ugh.
I am so EP.
I'm actually like... I think
This is
that's
like
where
the
we should
perfect
stop.
place.
Yeah. Let's get to a... Let me get to the point where it lets me save, and I'll do it. Okay. So yeah. I... Honestly... Even with me, like, thinking all those things earlier, all it does is create more questions.
Yeah, you got a lot of questions to answer.
I'm more confused than I was whenever I... Anyway. It's saved. You see it right there. Okay. Let's find somebody to raid. How about that? Actually, it's